but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there. You can feel it.
Get up on out the bed and start to move your balls. Let's hook up a word in Solomon Jones. You better wake up now.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM WURD, and I want to welcome you to another edition of Wake Up with Word. Kwesa, I have on my 76ers hoodie and my Joel Embiid jersey in celebration of the fact that Joel Embiid has been named a starter in the All-Star game for the fourth consecutive year. The boy can ball.
Yay.
I
mean, no, good for him. No, seriously. I'm happy for him.
And in other sport news, it's the end of an era. Carson Wentz has been traded to the Indianapolis Colts for a third-round pick and a conditional second-round pick, and honestly, it's time. Injuries and attitudes, losing and bad blood. Maybe Carson can succeed with his old coach, Frank Reich, but the whole thing got old real fast after a 4-11 season. So good luck, and don't let the doorknob hit you on the way out. Kwesa, what are you thinking about Carson Wentz being traded?
I mean, I'm kind of indifferent. Like, I'm not sad to see him go. I know that's messed up to say. Like, I feel like that's really bad because I do feel that, you know, if we didn't have him, you know, a few years ago, then we would not have won the Super Bowl. Like, I wholeheartedly believe that. But, you know, Nick Foles was able to pull it out. So I'm not going to disrespect or tarnish, you know, his name like that because I know that we would not have had that win if it were not for him. That being said, you know, after that, I was like, yo, you're not playing super great, bruh. So it's time. You know, I think that it's time. Get some new blood in there. I want to see, you know, what Jalen Hurts will bring to the table. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. But it's absolutely time. And so while it's the end of one era, it's the beginning of another. Today at noon, Philly finally gets our stuff together on this vaccine with the Black Doctors COVID-19 Consortium hosting the city's first 24-hour walk-up vaccination site from noon today until noon tomorrow at Temple University's Liacouras Center. It's on a first-come, first-served basis. Philadelphians who qualify under the city's 1B vaccination category and who live in zip codes identified by the organization as hardest hit by the coronavirus can visit the site and get their shots. And Philadelphians ages 75 and up, well, you can get vaccinated regardless of what zip code you live in. Bring your ID, get your shot, and let's knock out COVID together. We got a hot show for you today on Wake Up with Word. Erica Alexander, known for her iconic role as Maxine Shaw on Living Single, joins us to talk about her company's newest project, a podcast called Reparations, The Big Payback. We'll also talk with Senator Anthony Williams and Councilman Kenyatta Johnson on racial and gender bias in the courts. Financial consultant Akbar Hassan has your money advice. And as always, we've got you, our listeners, calling in at 215-634-8065. A toll-free 1-866-361-0900. Hit us on Twitter and Instagram at onWURD, or you can hit me personally at Solomon Jones 1. Watch us on Facebook at onWURD. But first, it's the big three, the news stories you need to know to kick off your day right here on Wake Up with Word. Story number one, 6 U.S. Capitol police officers have been suspended with pay, and 29 others have been placed under investigation for their actions in the January 6th riot. A department spokesman said yesterday. Acting Chief Yogananda Pittman has directed that any member of her department whose behavior is not in keeping with the department's rules of conduct will face appropriate discipline. That's according to a spokesman. CNN reported in January that Capitol Police had placed at least 10 officers under investigation and 2 others had been suspended. One of the suspended officers took a selfie with someone who was part of the mob that overtook the Capitol, according to Representative Tim Ryan, a Democrat from Ohio. Another wore a Make America Great Again hat and started directing people around the building. Last month, Pittman said the department has been actively reviewing video and other open source materials For some Capitol Police officers and officials that appear to be in violation of department regulations and policies, the suspensions and investigations come at a time of internal turmoil at the department as officers continue to grapple with the insurrection that led to the death of Officer Brian Sicknick. Members of the Capitol Police issued a vote of no confidence in the force's top leaders earlier this month. I tell you what this is, right? And I told you from the beginning, this was an inside job. It's no way in the world that they did this without help from the inside. What do you mean you a cop? You supposed to be guarding the Capitol. The people overrunning the Capitol, they got a gallows outside shouting, "Hang Mike Pence," and you put on a MAGA hat and show them around the building? What do you mean these people killed one of your colleagues and you taking selfies with them? Like, there's no way in the world this happens unless someone on the inside helps. There were Capitol Police officers that helped. There were members of Congress, I believe, that helped. I believe that those tours that were given in the days before with all of these people that looked unusual, well, the reason they looked unusual is because it was a reconnaissance mission and you were showing them what to do, where to go, where everything was, how to get in. You were showing them all of that. And so, yes, there was absolutely help from within their ranks. And you know, the terrible thing about that is that the people who were trying to actually do their jobs, the people who were injured, the people who lost fingers, people going to lose eyes in the Capitol Police Department, fighting these people, right? And you selling out your coworkers, your colleagues, the people whose lives depend on you every day. I say put them in jail. Whoever you find on the inside who helped, they need to go to jail.
Yeah, they need to go to jail. Also, why are they being suspended with pay? Like, why are you paying them? Why are you even investigating? You have the proof right in front of you. You see the pictures, you see the video. Like, I don't even know what y'all are doing. It's all a farce to me. And, you know, they had that, like, black folks are not surprised that you had, you know, folks who were in on it, right? There's a reason why there's that saying where it says, you know, why don't you see, you know, Clark Kent and Superman in the same room? You know, it's because of the fact that, like, we know that there are cops who are out here who are just, you know, I don't even think that they're undercover. They're just straight up racist. They are. You know, why are you forgetting to wear your hood? I'm glad that they forgot to wear their hood so we can know exactly who they are.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. And that brings me to story number 2, some good news out of Philadelphia. Malcolm Kenyatta, state representative and progressive activist from Philadelphia, officially launched a campaign for U.S. Senate last night on Joy Reid. I happen to be watching on MSNBC when he announced that he is running for the Senate. He cast himself as a champion of working people who would make history as Pennsylvania's first black and first openly gay senator. Kenyatta, 30, grew up in North Philadelphia, where his first job at 12 was washing dishes at a vegan soul food restaurant to help his mother, a home health aide, pay the bills. His family had to move 5 times when he was a kid. Every month, we were sitting at the proverbial kitchen table, but sitting there literally figuring out how to make it work. Kenyatta told the Inquirer in an interview ahead of his campaign launch. So if we're going to secure a democracy for the future, we have to have a system that actually works for working people. The people that will be best able to lead us to that place are people who know exactly what it looks like when government fails. Kenyatta announced his campaign on the Joy Reid Show on MSNBC. He's been a frequent presence on cable news shows and was a top Pennsylvania surrogate for Joe Biden. That's given him a bigger national platform than typical for a second-term state lawmaker, one he could use to raise money for an expensive and competitive statewide campaign. Koisa, what do you think?
You know what? I'm going to admit that, you know, I'm here for it. I know a lot of people are saying that he's too young. He hasn't had, you know, enough, you know, I guess, skin in the game for, you know, that long. But I like where he's going. I like his message. I do also like the fact that, you know, from what I have seen, he has passionately been fighting for the people of this state. And so, you know, I'm here for it. And I wish him, I wish him all the best. I really do.
Yeah, I think that what comes to mind for me is Barack Obama. People told him it was too soon. People told him he was too black. People told him his name was too unusual. People told him it would, you know, you need to wait. And he was like, no, if I'm going to do it, I need to do it now. And so you do it while you have the platform, while you have the attention. And while your name is still hot, before they can dig up all kind of stuff on you, before you have a long record that has some mistakes in it, because ultimately it will. And so I think absolutely we wish him the best. And so we will see what happens with that. But that brings me to another senator, and story number 3, my commentary for the day. Yesterday, when Senator Ted Cruz claimed he was sorry for leaving Texas for Cancun in the middle of a deadly weather crisis, it made me sick, especially when he gave this excuse. With school canceled for the week, Cruz said yesterday, our girls asked to take a trip with friends. Wanting to be a good dad, I flew down with them last night, and I'm flying back this afternoon. And you know what? Maybe that's okay if you're just some guy who happens to live in Texas. But if you're a senator in a state where 350,000 people were still without power on the day that you left, a day where 20 people had died as of yesterday afternoon, a state where people are struggling just to find clean water in an emergency. If you're a senator in that state, guess what? You don't leave for the beach. That's not good parenting. That's showing your kid how to be irresponsible and cowardly and wrong. And I say that because I'm a parent who's had to deal with kids who were disappointed about school. COVID closings meant my daughter had to graduate standing in our living room looking at a computer screen and take pictures for a prom she never attended. Shutdowns had my son missing the daily interactions of high school while traveling as far as North Jersey just to play basketball with his team. But we don't get to run away to Cancun. We have to stay and deal with real life. And real life in Philly is this. Real life in Philly is hearing that 7 people were shot at Broad and Alney a couple hours after my son passed through that station to get on the subway. Real life in Philly is working through sickness and trouble and pain. Real life in Philly is facing up to our responsibilities even when things get tough. We don't get to run away. And those who represent us in government shouldn't get to run away either. I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Were you as appalled as I was in hearing that this fool had the nerve to get on a plane with his family talking about we going to Cancun? And here's the thing. If your daughter and your wife, and if they want to go to Cancun, then you take them and put them on the plane, and you go back and you represent the people. What do you mean you leaving? There were 4 million people without power initially in Texas. By yesterday afternoon, it was down to 350,000. But 20 people had died. It was a national emergency. You got Biden sending FEMA down there. You got, the national government stepping in, and you the senator, and you leave. How do you leave? Like, what in the world? I was appalled, man. But what it shows is the level of just irresponsibility of the people who are running our government. It is absolutely appalling that this guy would think that it was okay to just leave. Oh, I'm just going to fly down with him. And then when you get caught, oh, I'm flying right back. You shouldn't have left. And this is why our country is in the state that it's in. Guys like him. You're going to let Donald Trump call your wife ugly and then work with him. Are you out of your mind? You're going to let him say your father helped to kill JFK, and then you're going to help him at every step of the way because you want why? Because you want to stay in this office? It is unbelievable, man, to watch these cats and the stuff that they do and don't do as leaders of this country. How you going to leave? People freezing to death in Texas. It's the kind of thing we will never see probably again because of the weather patterns. That's not how the weather usually goes. And you leave for the beach. I want to hear from you. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That's the number you can call to get in on the conversation. You can also hit us on Facebook at 4WURD. That's FORWURD, FORWURD, and let us know where you are on these various things we are talking about on this morning's show. FORWURD is how you can weigh in on Facebook. Let's go to Malik from Mount Airy on line 1. Go ahead.
Good morning, Word family. Good morning, Solomon. Good morning, Wasa. Wait a minute. So you telling me that it's wrong for me to plan a trip for a week, even though people don't have lights, electric, water, no way to get their medical medicines and things that's going to preserve their lives? Are you serious? You telling me I can't take a little trip with my girl? This has to be the mindset of a person that does something like that. You can't tell me that you just my girls decided they want to take a trip. Well, you tell them, hey, well, you can't do that right now. Daddy got a job to do. Are you telling me you can't tell your children no? I mean, that's the same irresponsible, I don't care, aloof, laissez-faire attitude that Donald Trump instilled in him, and you can clearly see that's one of his minions. Because the fact that you even thought of it says you don't care about nobody in that state, especially when you left. No, you can't tell me he didn't have somebody inform him of, what the situation was before you left. You can't tell me you didn't have that knowledge. And if you saw the bag that he had, that's not no overnight bag. Matter of fact, you just going down there for a day, you ain't taking no bag. You know what? I'm gonna drop y'all off. I'm going right back to the airport. Y'all have a ball. I'm going back. But come on now, your bag is big enough to stay for a week, and that's what you plan on doing until somebody says something. And as far as the cops that are being exposed, like you said, it's an inside job. I expected it because that's one of the hardest buildings to get in the world. And all of a sudden, you got people who, we just go up and decide and run down to the Capitol and get inside. Come on, man. Somebody let y'all in. Even with y'all breaking the doors, those are like armored steel doors. You're not just breaking them down. Somebody got to open the door and let you in. And unless they rip the doors off the hinges, somebody let y'all in. People you know on the inside let y'all in. The fact that you go into, like they said, they went to an office that you can't even get through the normal little tours. You got to know how to get to this elevator, how to get to this staircase, how to get to this back hallway. That was an inside job.
Yeah, it was absolutely an inside job. Malik, I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD Radio. We are going to talk more about this mess on the other side of this break because there is so much to this. Levita just sent me something that I think I need to share with y'all. The people of Mexico, right, trying to get into this country, right, for a better life for them and their family. You know what I mean? We don't want them here. Right, Ted Cruz on the leading edge of that, right? Not letting these people in so they could have a better life for them and their family. But he could cross the border to go to Mexico for a better life for him and his family. We're going to talk about that on the other side of this break. I'm Solomon Jones. This is WURD. We'll be right back.
Well, the kids are in bed. Time for a little grown-up quiet time.
What do you mean quiet time? It's your birthday. We're about to party.
Haha, funny. It's gonna have to be a you and me party this year. You know we can't have anybody over.
Well, your mom and dad are coming from Florida. Sis will be here from California. Oh, and a couple of old friends from just about everywhere will be showing up. They should all be here about now.
COVID-19 has changed the way we do things, for now. But social distancing doesn't mean you can't be social. COVID-19 doesn't have to keep us apart. Friends and family are finding new ways to be together, especially with how hard it's hitting the Black community. Vaccines are here, but until enough of us are vaccinated, we still have to be down with slowing the spread. Keep a 6-foot distance, wear a mask, and avoid indoor social gatherings. Learn more about vaccines and slowing the spread at cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Olaniyan Adefume, author of the Book of Questions, needs your help. He is seeking out responses for an updated version of the Book of Questions Series 2. The topics of the book cover issues of religion, race, sex, economics, politics, and health. One example would be, what do you think of the Capitol riot of January 6, 2021? For more information, reach out to him directly at 215-678-3830 or email him at oadefumi@yahoo.com.
Looking for an exciting and well-paying new career opportunity? MCAP is a free manufacturing career accelerator program. In just 7 weeks, learn new career skills, earn industry certifications, and connect to manufacturing companies who are hiring. To see if MCAP is right for you, call 215-770-7101. That's 215-770-7101. MCAP is brought to you by Drexel University's Goodwin College of Professional Studies in partnership with EDSI Incorporated. MCAP is an equal opportunity program. Diverse candidates, including women and people of color, are strongly encouraged to apply.
Need a new mattress? Stop by to see Julian, the Mattress Man, located at 7421 Stenton Avenue. You deal directly with the owner, Julian, to ensure the best prices on name brand mattresses like Sealy, Posturepedic. Call 215-424-5550. That's 215-424-5550.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses. Still looking at delays building a bit on I-95 southbound from Cottman down through Bridge. A little slow there. Northbound 95. First, you're slow just north of the state line at Chichester Avenue. An accident there being cleared. Further north, you're jammed up between the Commodore Barry Bridge and Highland Avenue 322. That's because of an accident there being cleared. Schuylkill Expressway both ways. Not too bad this morning. Same thing on the Vine Expressway. You're going to find that fine through Center City. Westbound 76, you are getting heavy city out to Belmont now because of an accident. 42, 55, 295 in New Jersey. Some volume there beginning to pick up. Don't overpay for glasses. Get 2 pairs and a free exam for just $69.95. The exam alone is worth $50. That's not just a better deal. It's America's Best. Book your exam online today. In certain states, eye exams are provided by independent ophthalmologists. See stores for details. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Now, a WURD weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
Slippery conditions this morning with a wintry mix, light snow and freezing drizzle, and temperatures that are in the 20s, gradually warming into the low 30s at lunchtime and a high of 35 this afternoon. The showers finally taper off late this afternoon, and we clear out tonight, down to 24 Saturday morning. A blustery day, partly to mostly sunny skies. 33 the high, will feel like it's in the low 20s with the wind. Then less wind, but a cold morning Sunday, the low 17, with mostly sunny skies, warms to 36 Sunday afternoon. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley with your most accurate forecast. Count on it.
It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio. 96.1 FM. And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and we are back. Talk about Ted Cruz, man. This dude actually leaves the state, right, during the kind of emergency that is a once-in-a-generation type thing. Picture 4 million people losing power in your state. Picture people looking around for clean water because they don't have running water in their house. Picture people dying because it is freezing cold in the place where they live and they have no access to heat. Now picture the leadership up and leaving, talking about we going to the beach. I mean, it is unbelievable that you would even consider doing that. Like, why would you even think that was okay? Now, if your family want to go, again, you know, hey, they're not in leadership. Nobody elected them, so, you know, let them go, right? But you don't go with them. You can't go. Like, what do you mean you're leaving for Cancun? And here's the thing, right? These are the same people that don't want Mexicans coming here, but yet you want to be able to go to Mexico whenever you want to escape whatever hardships you're dealing with. Now picture this. People come here from Mexico because drug dealers want to kill them. People come here from Mexico because they cannot find a job. People come here from Mexico because they, they are looking for a better way of life, right? And guess what? And I'm not exaggerating. The Mexicans that I know, right, and have known for years, some of the hardest working people, man, that you ever want to meet. And compare that and contrast that to Ted Cruz, who, is so lazy that you would actually leave in the middle of a crisis when you in leadership. How you just gonna leave? Pack your bags and leave. People that are dependent on you for leadership are freezing and dying in their homes. 20 people dead. Started off with millions have lost their power. Now it's down to 350,000. I think it's a good time for me to leave. What? I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That's what's wrong with this country. You have people in leadership who feel like they don't have to lead. You have people in leadership who feel like they don't have to suffer the same things that the people that are under them do. You have people in leadership that feel like leadership is about privilege and not about presence. I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. Diane from Southwest is on line 3. Go ahead, Diane.
Solomon, good morning.
Good morning.
It's Diane from South Philly.
From South Philly, okay.
It's okay. It's okay. As long as it's Diane, you got it right. Solomon, here you go again, putting that ice and that black icing of truth on the cake. How dare him? They showed a house where the ceiling fan had ice cubes falling from it because they didn't have any heat. They showed a woman, they're telling her what to do. She said, how can we boil water when we don't have any water? I called my cousin down the street that lives in Texas. He said, Diane, we're on the outskirts of Houston, but it's bad. And 1 minute. Cruz. He's on every news. Ted Cruz is on the news. He had no reason to go down there just to get his behind suntan. And every time I hear things about him and things that people do, it's called entitlement. He feels he's entitled to do what he wants to do. And it makes me think about Gil Scott-Heron. My sister Nellie got bit by a rat, but Whitey's on the moon, doing what they want to do. Listen, they should have blocked him at the airport. When they knew he was coming in, they should have made him turn around and go back to Texas and go back in that house where that chandelier has nothing but ice in it, and those people died. I see why, what's the guy that was running for president? I mean, Solomon, I'm just like, every morning is some new bull that's going on with America. It's things are not getting better. It needs to get better. We need to do better. If we can do better.
We can.
Solomon,
We can. Yes.
I have a blast. I'm just upset.
I hear you. I hear
There's
you.
always something new going on.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Diane, thank you so much for your call. We certainly appreciate it. Right here on WURD. Tell Sugar Lady I said hi. And let's go to Brother Joe from Germantown on line 2. Go ahead, Brother Joe.
Good morning, Brother Solomon, Queen Quaker. How y'all doing in this kind of iffy morning?
We're good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fine, brother. So thanks for asking. I'll praise you to Allah. Brother Solomon, I'm glad you pointed out about Ted Cruz and they had Trump, called his wife ugly. They accused him of his father murdering JFK. Well, Lindsey Graham is in the same category as despicable lying Ted, because remember during the debate back in 2016, Trump gave Lindsey Graham's telephone number out to everybody around the country. And how you think John McCain's family felt? He probably John McCain's boy, and Trump dogged his boy while he was living, dogged him while he after he died, and yet Lindsey Graham still got his head up Trump's behind. I mean, these people got, like I told Kuwait, they have no integrity, Solomon, none at all. And I'll say this in closing, brother. So I've said this, and I will continue to say this. I'm no candidate for the Democrat Party, but at the same time, I know common sense, and sometimes common sense is not common. I don't know how anybody in their right mind, be they black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian, whatever, Muslim, Christian, could vote for these Republicans. Well, you see how they're doing our people here on the state level, and even sometimes on the city level, and definitely on the national level. These people are anti-union. They mean spirit. They don't have Medicare, Medicaid. They don't want people to have food stamps to be able to pay for their families. They, like I said, they're anti-union. They're anti-working class. How anybody in their right mind could vote for these white Republicans, and even some of the black ones that got that mindset, is beyond me. And like I say, in the last point, Solomon, when I was working in Jersey at the hospital, I used to marvel at some of the Caucasian guys. These was poor white people, Solomon, that was poorer than the church mouse. They was get on my nerves by telling me, "Oh, I'm voting for Trump, or I'm voting for Reagan or Bush." And I'm like saying, "Why? But you got no more than that guy." And that's what they were saying. So I said, "You go right ahead, and that's why you will stay ignorant and dirt poor all your life, voting for these because they don't give a damn about you no more than they care about me." I mean, it just boggles the mind with these people. They say, Simon, racism just makes people stupid, man. It really does. You will vote for people that's against your own financial interests, man. Boggles my mind. Thank you, brother.
All right, man. Brother Joe, I appreciate your call this morning on WURD Radio. Of course, people are weighing in on Facebook at FORWURD. That's FORWURD, FORWURD. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So we do have a couple of comments here. Sheena Pierce says, Solomon, I don't know if leadership stupidity is starting to be the new normal or if we are woke and therefore able to see both the moral and character flaws in our elected officials. This shows us just how privileged folk are moving these days with no thought at all about the needs of the people. It's really sad. I mean, some of this stuff is just common sense. Walter Davis says, it's crooked politicians like Ted Cruz that voters have to fire and keep off of future election ballots because accountability never meant a thing to them. Good morning to Sana Moore. She's checking us out. Ellis Matthews is checking us out also. He says it's about now. It's well known that I'm not going to read that because I'm not sure if it's a slight slander, so I'm going to just... Tia Dreyer, Cruz and many of his constituents have forgotten or don't care that they have been elected to serve. They are public servants. Clearly, they're not asking what they can do for their country, communities, but rather dictating what they will and will not do. Diane Hamilton Mitchell, entitlement, that's what... it's called, Ted Cruz, so that's what she's saying. And then Wanda Page, good morning to you. Mark Reason, good morning to you also. Geraldine Mayfield says, sounds like 45 again. He's part of the cult. And then Gail Robinson says, Cruz and his family all should have stayed home because he is part of the reason why Texas is the way it is. Deregulation, the major causation. Rebecca Truxton, good morning to you. And Camden High says, prime example of racist Republicans only thinking about themselves. And lastly, I will read here, Regina Neely, wimpy GOP senators need to be censored. Heartless, spineless individuals. What can you do if the people keep voting them in? They must like the neglect and abuse they get. And then she has a little eye-rolly face. Oh, it looks just like her little person who... Sorry. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
All right. So you can certainly give us a call at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio and let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about on this morning show. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That's the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about. Malcolm Kenyatta has announced that he is running for Senate here in Pennsylvania. I say do it now while you are still on that national stage. Before you have a long record that people can dig into and be like, you voted against this, you voted for that, you voted against this, you voted for that. Like, do it now. I think that you got as good a shot as anybody, and so I want to know what you guys think about that as well. Then you have the Capitol Police. They have suspended 6 officers with pay, and 29 others are under investigation for their actions in that January 6th riot. You had to have people on the inside who were helping them. There's no way in the world that you didn't. And so you know, we know about the ones who we saw on video and saw their actions. But I think that there were others. I think that there were people who were opening the door. I think that there were people who were letting them in. I think that there were people who were showing them around. I think that there were people who were aiding and abetting that riot. And the thing that really bothers me more than anything about all of it, right? It bothers me that you've only, arrested 200 people? It was like 8,000 people out there. That bothers me. But more than anything else, man, is Officer Brian Sicknick, right? Here's this guy, man. He's trying to do his job. He's trying to protect the Capitol. He's doing what we pay our tax dollars for him to do. And they killed him. They murdered him, man. They hit him with a fire extinguisher. He gets back to his headquarters, and he dies from his injuries. That's murder. Why has nobody been charged with Brian Sicknick's murder? Kuwaisa, when you look at the film and the footage of what happened at the Capitol, everybody had their camera phones up. All these people in the crowd with their camera phones up, filming everything, right? They got a picture of a guy who had on a hat with CFD on the front. I don't know if it stood for Chicago Fire Department or what, but he had a hat with CFD on the front. Where is he? Why isn't he arrested? He's a suspect in the murder of Brian Sicknick. Why isn't anybody arrested for killing this cop? When you've got video evidence, I mean, you know, people live streaming on Facebook, you know, you've got the news media there taking pictures, they've got cameras. Nobody has pictures of the person who killed Brian Sicknick. And whoever killed him, guess what? Whoever was in that immediate vicinity, you're an accomplice. You're an accomplice. Whoever was there when they hit Brian Sicknick with that fire extinguisher and killed him, you're an accomplice. Where are the murder charges, Kuwaisa? Why isn't anybody locked up for that? That's the thing that bothers me the most, because guess what? Philadelphia, you kill a cop. See what happened. You know what I mean? Is it me?
No, it's not you. You know, I think, and if I was his family, I would be, I don't even know how I would feel. I'm surprised that we haven't, you know, really heard much, you know, from them. I know we were talking about that before, but, you know, it's beyond me that, you know, you have all the technology in the world, facial recognition. You have the fact that you can, you know, track people's phones. You have the fact, you know, that, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. There's the train and it just left. But I'm just saying, like, I cannot believe that, you know, you have so many people who were out there and then witnessed it. That mob mentality, that's what I forgot. The mob mentality of people just videotaping folks getting hurt, people getting, you know, hit in their face, you know. But how do you do that? How do you, as a human being, I would not be able to just stand there and videotape that. Like, how do you, I can't even imagine. And I'm just, and it hurts me. I actually, you know, feel a slightly emotional about this, because they sit there and they always talk about how these blue lives matter. And I feel like they don't care about this man. And they don't care about, you know, any of the cops who put their lives in danger to try to protect folks, you know, that really were the main reason for why these Capitol rioters were coming up there in the first place. Yeah. Like, they don't care.
Nope.
What type of human being are you? And maybe I shouldn't be so appalled, because, you know, this should not be shocking to me. But, you know, I'm glad that I can't, you know, empathize with those types of folks, because that's just not the type of person who I am. But come on.
Yeah. Where's the FOP?
Right.
Where's the FOP? Because, you know, imagine a police officer getting killed at a Black Lives Matter protest, right? Imagine, you know, officers losing fingers, losing eyes, right, at a Black Lives Matter protest. Imagine if the people who killed this officer were black. Like, where would the FOP be? They'd be on TV every single day until somebody was caught. I'm really, you know, I'm learning so much about America as I watch the aftermath of this terrorist attack, because that's what it was. As I watch the aftermath of this, I'm learning that there really are two different sets of rules, two different sets of laws for the people in this country. There's one for those who are not white, and there's one for those who are white. It is unreal that an officer was murdered and nobody's been arrested. Everybody should be an accomplice. Y'all were there, you're an accomplice to that murder. You were beating cops, you're an accomplice to that murder. You know what I mean? Because that's what they would do to us. Everybody, it would be pinned on everybody. Arrest the person who killed Brian Sicknick, man. If you want me to believe that there's justice in this country, arrest the person who killed Officer Brian Sicknick. He did not deserve to die just for trying to do his job. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to continue the show right here on WURD.
Recovery starts with a call. Pennsylvania's Substance Use Disorder Hotline is staffed by real people who are trained to help. They're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They'll get you or your loved one into treatment regardless of your access to insurance. If you or someone you know is suffering from addiction, call 1-800-662-HELP. Recovery starts with a call.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Just one more step. You got it.
You're doing great. This is the sound of a nationally ranked top rehabilitation hospital, home to the largest collection of robotics in the United States, where we continually exceed patient expectations. Because no injury is too severe or too minor for our care.
There you go.
This is the sound of success. Moss Rehab. Challenge accepted.
Clark Roofing salutes Black History Month with over 30 years of quality roofing experience, providing exceptional customer service, honesty, and professionalism. For service, call 215-365-ROOF. That's 215-365-7663.
Tune in this Saturday at 3 p.m. for the We Dream About Real Estate and More show with Hakeem Singleton and Matt King, where you will learn how to buy a house responsibly, travel on a budget, and look good while doing it.
Keeping you informed. As a community service, WURD Radio and the Black Doctors COVID-19 Consortium wants to keep you informed about access to the COVID-19 vaccine. The Black Doctors COVID-19 Consortium will conduct a 24-hour Phase 1B vaccination clinic for residents in designated prioritized zip codes. Friday, February 19th from 12 noon until Saturday, February 20th at 12 noon at Temple University's Liacouras Center. No appointment is necessary. First come, first served. For a list of prioritized zip codes, visit blackdoctorsconsortium.com. Stay informed and stay well with WURD Radio. 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
Two powerful musical events from composer Tyshawn Sorey are now available on the Opera Philadelphia channel. Cycles of My Being explores the realities of being a black man in America today through highly personal songs. Plus, Save the Boys, based on a poem by abolitionist Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, starring countertenor John Holliday, who was recently a finalist on NBC's The Voice. Cycles of My Being and Save the Boys. Watch on demand on the Opera Philadelphia channel. Rent them at operaphila.tv.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses. Looking at the Schuylkill Expressway westbound, pretty jammed now from City out to Belmont. Accident there has been cleared, though eastbound side looks pretty good by an expressway. Late westbound Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway. 95 through Philadelphia, really not too bad. North or southbound this morning. Same thing on the PA Turnpike and the Blue Route 476. 55 northbound on the 42. Just late there this morning. Bridges in and out of the city, not too bad. Don't overpay for glasses. Get 2 pairs and a free exam for just $69.95. The exam alone is worth $50. That's not just a better deal, it's America's Best. Book your exam online today. In certain states, eye exams provided by independent ophthalmologists. See stores for details. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Now, a WURD weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
A light wintry mix today and cold. Temperatures in the 20s this morning, warm into the mid-30s this afternoon. An inch of snow is possible, slipping and sliding with the freezing rain also likely today. Tonight we clear out, sunshine this weekend, but cold and windy on Saturday. 33 in the afternoon will feel like it's in the 20s with the wind. Less wind, bright sunshine Sunday, up to 36. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley with your most accurate forecast. Count on it.
It's Wake Up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on Word Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. And I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word. We are, of course, taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about on this morning's show. Ted Cruz jumps up and leaves Texas as people are dying in a deep freeze. He's going to Cancun. They find out, and he turns right around and said, oh, yeah, you know, I was just trying to be a good dad. Huh? What about being a good senator? I mean, you got to be a good dad, but you be a good dad by setting a good example for your kids. You're in leadership, dude. People are dying, and you can't just up and leave for the beach. But I want to know what you think. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. Gloria from Gloria is on line one. Go ahead, Gloria.
Solomon, good morning, Kuwait and Word family.
Good morning.
I'm sleepy, but I'm up. I got to go to work this afternoon. But anyhow, oh boy, excuse me. Anyhow, Ted Cruz, you know what? Those people are dying. So you said his son had died already?
Yeah.
You know what? That's murder. Solomon, I'm sorry, it's murder.
How?
Real estate was in the upgrade. Because he knew the situation there. He's going to just get up and leave. You don't do that. Why would you even think, you know, what is wrong with him? People have died. And you're going to take your family on a trip to Cancun, a country that you said that they don't want them to come to the United States as far as Mexicans are concerned. He has a lot of nerve. As far as officers in Washington, D.C., the Capitol Police officer, the one that died, where's his family? How come they're not talking? What's up with that, Solomon? I haven't seen their faces yet. No, I haven't seen anything. And like you said, yeah, it's so sad. And like you said, as far as what happened at the Capitol, it was an inside job. I already knew when I first heard it. See, somebody helped them go through this. Somebody helped them put that together. It's been planned for a long time, Solomon. It really has. It really has. I mean, come on. If that was us, oh, please. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right.
You know, you have a good weekend, okay?
All right.
Weekend, okay, and your family.
Thank you so much. You too. And thank you for your call this morning on WURD Radio. If you want to get in, it's 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That's the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let's go to Mike from North Philly on line 2. Go ahead, Mike.
Good morning, Solomon. How you doing today, good brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm out here in these elements again, but I'm real good, though. Listen, I got two quick things. Those Capitol Police should be fired and locked up. Because isn't that a classic case of sedition and insurrection? It's classic, right? You know, what about the oath of police officers to serve and protect? You know, one of your colleagues has died, and you're joining them with them, taking selfies. I mean, they got so much photographs we ain't even seen yet. These people are out of their minds. You know, the second thing is, do you know, is Ted Cruz's wife really ugly? Because we've never seen her.
I don't know.
Maybe he's hiding her. Maybe she had a doggy bag over her face or something.
I don't know. I wouldn't even call her ugly if she was. Like, you don't do that. Like,
Yeah,
you know, we
that.
grown.
Trump,
Come on, man.
Trump had no problem doing it, and he with his boy Trump. You know, isn't it amazing how they wanted to build the wall to keep the Mexicans out, but they all run into Mexico?
I know.
Like, come here. You know, he's going to Mexico. Judges sending insurrectionists to Mexico on vacation. Yo, we are in trouble.
Yeah, we really are. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate your call this morning on WURD Radio. What a mess. Let's go to Tim from Springfield on line 3. Go ahead, Tim.
Thank you, Solomon, for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I thought it was good that Cruz did go to Mexico. It's too bad, though, that they didn't revoke his passport and not allow him to leave, and the only way he could get out would be to join one of the caravans coming north, and maybe he'd be a little bit more sympathetic to people's plights on being persecuted.
How about that? How about that?
And I heard that supposedly, and I don't know if this is true, that he didn't use his name Ted when he booked the flight, that he used his name Raphael. Now, that might be on his license, so that might be why he used it. But I have a feeling he used it so people wouldn't be able to see through the disguise.
Wow. That's
crazy.
I
heard this the other day, and I didn't know if you've ever known this. This is something a little bit different. But you remember the guy carrying the Confederate flag through the Capitol?
Yes.
Okay, I heard that the way he was identified by his ex-wife, and that she saw him in the pictures on TV, called the FBI and said, I know that guy. And wouldn't that be something? I'd be curious how many ex-wives saw their ex-husbands and handed them in, and this is a good reason to stay married on the good side of your wife, because you don't want her to hand you in if you ever do something wrong.
Yeah, how about that? How about that? What a mess, man. Here's the thing. Everybody should be arrested because everybody's on camera. The whole thing happened on camera. So how do you not know who these people are? You know what I mean? Like, you know, how do you not know by their social media? You know, it's one of the reasons I don't participate in all that stuff, you know, on Facebook. A, I don't have time. But B, you know, I wonder, you know, are you taking all these pictures and putting them into some kind of software or something? You know, like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I give you the pictures I want to, but I'm not giving you when you say, you know, pictures from 20 years ago or pictures from, you know, whenever, so you can do, you know, whatever you do with them. Like, no, that's okay. I'm good. You know what I mean? But if you have all of that, I say that to say this, that if you have all of these pictures of people on their social media, right? You have facial recognition software. You have all of this technology. Why isn't everybody arrested? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why aren't we using it? If you have all this stuff, why aren't you using it to arrest these people? Why are there only 200 people charged? Like, I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe it's me. I want to hear what you have to say. Of course, you are giving your comments on Facebook, and we want to check those out. You can give those at FORWURD. That's FORWURD. And we want to hear from you on Facebook. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So a few comments here. We have Andre Terry. Good morning to you. Roberta Everett Gilmore. Good morning to you also. Carol Trimble Lee says, good morning, Solomon and Kawesa. I also feel bad for the 2 Capitol Police officers who committed suicide. They could not deal with this atrocity. Bernita Francine is saying it's by design. Ellis Matthews says, where was SWAT? And then Mark Reason says they're not even talking about it, and also saying, nope, it ain't you, fam, talking about, you know, just, you know, the fact that, like, we're, like, what's going on? So that's another comment. You know, Gary Q. Hines said that he thinks it might have been Chester Fire Department in regards to, I guess, you know, what was on the gentleman's hat, but I'm not entirely sure what the acronym was for. Antoinette Bevins Pickens is saying good morning to us also. And then if I didn't say good morning to Gail Robinson, good morning to you. And Zen Motley is saying, we see the evil and wicked things going on. It's time for us to have action. Prayers, reach out and touch someone, even if it's just a smile. So that's another comment that we have. I did actually grab a couple others that I wanted to mention. But we had here, Ozias Johnson is saying, Good morning, Vietnam. It's easier to fool the people than to convince them that they have been fooled. Louisiana, Texas's next door neighbor, got hit just as hard as Texas, if not harder. I got no reports from my brother of anyone losing power. Texas seceded from the national power grid, and the people are suffering because of that move. So Ted Cruz was like, ain't nothing, I could do so, do whatever you want, I guess, and fled to higher ground. So that's another comment that we have here as well. And then I saw Sana Moore's comment, but I think I might have not screenshotted it. So Sana, I'm sorry. She called him Fled Cruz, though. Oh, here it is. The news showed the text messages from Fled Cruz, Ted Cruz's wife, clearly stating that they're going to Mexico because they have no power. Sad. Hashtag piss poor leadership. So those are just a few more comments that we do have on our Facebook page.
All right. All right. So if you want to give us a call, you can certainly do that at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. You know, and then I guess the most reprehensible thing of all, you're going to try to put it on your kids. Oh, my daughter was so sad because, and we figured, school's closed, so we want to be good parents. No. You don't have no power just like everybody else, but everybody else don't have money to just jump on a plane and go to Cancun. People are dying because they don't have resources. They don't have money. They don't have access to planes and plane tickets. Like, they can't just leave. They're dying. And you jump on a plane and leave for a country whose people you don't want to come here. That's the ironic thing to me in all of it, is that, people, you don't want people from Mexico to come here for a better life, but when your power go off, you want to jump up and go to Mexico for a better life. Like, what? It is unreal. We're going to keep talking about that throughout the show, but on the other side, we're going to talk with Senator Anthony Williams and Councilman Kenyatta Johnson. They've got an event coming up. We're going to talk to them about that and more. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
I went to check on Pop today. We put our hands up to the glass as if we were touching. But really, the only touching part was that we both tried to smile.
That's no way to say hello or goodbye. COVID-19 vaccines are here, but until enough of us are vaccinated, we'll all still need to help slow the spread. Keep a 6-foot distance, wear a mask, and avoid indoor social gatherings. Learn more about vaccines and slowing the spread at cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
WURD Radio celebrates Black History Month with Black Artist Story 365. Brought to you by Southwest Leadership Academy Charter School.
Welcome to Black Artist Story 365. My name is Envy McKee. Get into this episode where we explore the art and artistry of Tony Award-winning actress and singer and Philly home diva, Pearl Bailey. Auntie Pearl Bailey was born in Newport News, Virginia, to the Reverend Joseph James and Ella Mae Ricks Bailey. She graduated from Booker T. Washington High School in nearby Norfolk, Virginia, and decided to pursue a career in entertainment. She began by singing and dancing in Philadelphia's black nightclubs in the 1930s and soon started performing in other parts of the East Coast. She settled in New York City. She performed with famous folk like Cab Calloway and Duke Ellington. In 1946, she made her Broadway debut in St. Louis Woman. She was in a whole bunch of films too, honey, including the iconic Carmen Jones, starring Academy Award nominee Dorothy Dandridge. If you recall, Auntie Pearl played Carmen's friend, Frankie.
Tell you why I wanna dance. It ain't the sweetness in the music. I like the sweetness in the music. But that ain't why I wanna dance.
In 1967, Bailey and Cab Calloway headlined an all-black cast version of Hello Dolly. The touring version was so successful, producer David Merrick took it to Broadway, where it played to sold-out houses and revitalized the long-running musical. Bailey was given a special Tony Award for her role, and RCA Victor made a second original cast album.
All those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm going. When the whistles blow and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me that old trombone, give me that old baton for the parade. Pass it by.
So that That's it for this episode of Black Artist Story 365. My name is Envy McKee. To hear more, tune into The Envy McKee Show, Friday nights, 7 to 10 p.m., right here on WURD.
Black Artist Story 365 was brought to you by Southwest Leadership Academy Charter School and the Pennsylvania Lottery. Get to winning with Win, 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 the new scratch-off from the Pennsylvania Lottery, with top prizes of $500,000. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Be sure to tune in this Sunday at 2 p.m. for the Physicians on Air show with host Dr. Alexander.
This Word Wellness Vignette is brought to you by Keystone Plus. Word Radio presents the following wellness tip to support our listeners with mindfulness and motivation
as we continue to navigate the pandemic together.
Hi, this is Halana, your resident health and wellness coach, with tips to help you stay well. Nature is all around us, and each tree supports our ability to breathe fresh, clean air. Let's think about this for a moment. When we take a walk in nature, we open our senses to appreciate the beautiful world around us and connect back to the earth. Taking a walk in nature can simply look like this. Number 1, stop for 5 minutes on your drive home and walk to the waterfront. Number 2, spend an hour this weekend walking a hiking trail nearby. Number 3, go for a 15-minute after dinner walk. Sometimes we think spending time in nature has to be an all-day experience. Yet, even just a few minutes a day can make a big difference. Taking a walk in nature is something we can all do to support our overall health. Go ahead, try it today. Stay well with Word. Happy living.
Stay well with Word. Connect with us at wordradio.com. This Word Wellness Vignette was brought to you by Keystone Plus. Celebrating Black history all year long.
Fannie Lou Hamer.
We are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
This is Word Radio, 96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Philadelphia, independent Black media. You're waking up
with Word,
hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on Word Radio,
96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word. Joining us now, Senator Anthony Hardy Williams and Councilmember Kenyatta Johnson. They have something coming up about racial and gender bias in the court. Senator, Councilman, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, Senator Williams, talk to me about what's happening with racial and gender bias in the courts. What does that entail?
So 2 years ago, approximately maybe 3 years ago, the First District Court, of which we operate in, so your court system operates under what they call the First District. They commissioned their own study of how the courts were operating. Not surprising to us, but shocking to them, was that there was a culture and a pattern of nepotism and racial resentment with the court system. They sat on that report for about a year before it was revealed to the public. And even after it was revealed to the public, frankly, it's like a tree that's fallen off the forest. And many people are not even aware of the fact that there are findings which show specifically within our court system in Philadelphia County. I'm not talking about the rulings. I'm not talking about the unfairness of the law. I'm talking about within the system itself. There's a pattern, a culture of nepotism and racism. And most significantly, that a significant number of white judges and staff members believe there's reverse discrimination. That means that black people in the court system get favored over white people in this process. And so we're having a hearing today, and the councilman will certainly jump in, started primarily by the councilman to address this issue of why the report was suppressed, most importantly, to bring to the public's attention that there is a systematic occurrence within the court system. That means built in, before you get in front of a judge, there is a bias in front of you by the staff and by some of the judges who sit on the bench.
So Councilman Johnson, how in what way was this report suppressed?
Well, the report was done back in 2019, and after I heard about it, I began to do some inquiries with the administrative judge, the president judge who runs the administrative governing board. I had to see Fox about the report. The report wasn't released, and so I decided to hold hearings on the report, and all of a sudden it was released to the public. And from that point forward, we began doing a deeper dive in City Council, looking at the issue of institutional and systematic racism, particularly toward African-American women. They had two particular women actually provided testimony about their experiences. One young lady, Roxanne Covington, talked about how when she was threatened, she wasn't provided a personal detail as relates to security, similar to how white judges who have also been threatened were provided security details. But also Judge Karen Simmons, one time she came into her judge's chambers, and there was a note when she was running for president judge that said there will never be a BITCH, you will never be president judge. And that particular incident wasn't officially investigated and filed up on. To the date, they still don't know who actually done it. But also the report just talks about how it not only impacts judges, but also staff, how staffs are promoted, how staffs are put in positions of leadership. There's a systematic pattern of institutional and systematic racism. And so Senator Williams is partnering with me and decided to take this issue on a state level, because most people may or may not know that judges are really state employees, but however, they receive a city budget. And so I thank him for taking this level, taking it up to another level, but we want to stay on top of this until we have some official changes.
So, Senator, given that they're state employees, so how do those changes come about? So judges are elected, most of them in Philadelphia, right? Municipal court, Commonwealth court, these judges are elected, right? So how would the state be able to discipline someone who was elected but was officially an employee of the state? So if there was some punishment meted out, how would you even go about doing that?
That's a great question. So there are several ways. There's a disciplinary board that reviews. When a judge makes a sentence and they think there's an error in the sentence, there's a review of that process that people aren't aware of beyond the appeal. So there's a body of judges who say, you stepped too far. They can sanction that judge, and they have. And there are a few in Philadelphia County, all of which are African American, to my knowledge, who have been sanctioned for that. That means they move them from a place. They're no longer serving the court in a certain space. They don't do certain things. They don't take their salary, but they do draw to the attention of the judge. And those who may want to move up, like the Superior Court, Supreme Court, that becomes a part of your public record. And so the report, and most importantly, the Bar Association, of which many of our folks don't know much about, is predominantly white, review it, and then, frankly, decide whether they're going to support you in terms of reelection or moving up the process. And so there's a public scrutiny as well as there's a sanctioning within the court system that becomes a part. And then ultimately, the Supreme Court, which in large part controls the funding of the first district. That means they can say, what people don't know is that behind the scenes of just going to court, there are different programs which occur within the court system that are funded. Those programs fall to the favor of the Supreme Court. They can say, you know what, we're going to do something about this problem. We're going to fund a process, a program, training, whatever it may be, that will root out where the nepotism may be, the cultural indifference may be, the lack of consideration, frankly, the direct racism. They can fund those things, or they can remove favorite funding for those judges they think they are complicit in this process.
And Solomon, I would like to also just add that since we had the hearing in City Council, there have been two initiatives that will be implemented under the First Judicial District based upon information that they have provided, an announcement they provided. And one is that they will actually hire a chief diversity and inclusion officer to begin addressing the issues regarding institutional and systematic racism. And also they have a process where now if staff members or judges have complaints, they can provide that information anonymously. We haven't seen who are going to be the individuals who are going to be appointed to those two particular positions. But however, as a result of the first hearing, that has been two particular areas in which they have officially and publicly announced that they're going to be moving in that direction. We're waiting to see who's going to be the actual figureheads that's going to be in those two positions, or actually someone who's there to actually get work done.
We're talking with Councilman Kenyatta Johnson. That's the last voice you heard. Also, Senator Anthony Hardy Williams about an event that they're going to be doing on racial and gender bias in the courts. I have to say I've had the opportunity to work with some of the judges in the courts on some matters, you know, that we're concerned with, gun violence and what have you. Judge Leon Tucker comes to mind. And that work and their commitment to that has been fantastic from what I can see. So in terms of what else is going on behind the scenes, I mean, systems we know can work no matter who's in charge, right? We've seen racist systems, you know, maintain themselves no matter who is the person who is in charge. So how is this racism and this gender bias continuing to flourish regardless of who's in charge?
Sure. Well, one thing I want to do, and it's kind of clear I want to do, because I know you're a reader, you're a researcher. You probably have not seen the Cure report. And that's the problem. Most people don't know how hideous and, it's really outrageous. I can't gather the words to tell you how urgent this requires us to pay attention, because fundamentally so many young black people are in front of these court systems and they're considering them in that manner, right? So I'm going to send it to you so that you can fully comprehend what we're trying to accomplish. And I also got to give a background. This hearing is via Zoom, and you're able to sign on and participate. And I want to encourage people to do that today. It is sponsored as a partnership with the Pennsylvania Black Caucus, which is headed up by the distinguished Representative Donna Bulla, along with policy folks on both of our sides. And if you want to sign on through Zoom, all you have to do is go to www.senatoranthonyhwilliams.com/live, and you can stream live and see it. I would certainly encourage many, many, many of you listeners and beyond who come from our communities to follow this, because you'll be surprised and that's not shocked by what we're talking about. That said, be very clear, in a city where the majority of African Americans are the population, the majority of judges are white. And so Leon, who's a friend of mine, I call him Leon, Judge Tucker, and a variety of others are doing wonderful work. But they will tell you they're not the dominant voice within the court system. So the reality is that the folks who are heading up this process, Heidi Fox and a few others, are white. Now, understand something. They've appointed African-American women as administrative folks. And these people that are in those positions, I respect them greatly. I think Skipper Woods is one, and I'm not sure who the other person is, greatly. But they're not, quote-unquote, the shot callers of this process. Well,
I guess my question is, because we only got a little bit of time, who's responsible for the racism? I mean, so we vote these people in, they get voted in, judges. So who is responsible for this racism?
Well, when you say a culture, there's several people, right? So it's the head folks who direct it. It's the Supreme Court has a responsibility. It's the president judges who head up the different municipal and common pleas court, as well as the folks that they bring on board. So it's not just one person. It's a culture of that that's allowed. And so bringing it public obviously pushes back against the culture, as well as other things we can specifically do.
Councilman, from a funding standpoint, what can City Council do? You guys have the purse strings. They get city funding. What can you do?
Absolutely. Thanks. That's a good question, Sal. We're actually in the process of reviewing all of our court system and city agencies for the upcoming budget process, and then we'll take a deeper dive on making sure that those particular areas that will safeguard and support, again, not only just the African American judges, but also staff members who feel like they aren't being treated fairly in terms of promotions and workplace environment. we're going to be looking at how do we make sure that through this budget process, those particular areas are supported. And then when areas that we have to shift dollars from because we believe that there may be too much support and resources where judges aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing around this issue of treating people equally and fairly, then we will make recommendations on how we would shift resources in that area as well.
Okay. Now, this event is taking place this evening?
This event is taking place today at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Starts at 10 o'clock, 10 to 2. And I also draw attention to the fact that this is an election cycle for judges. You can ask a judge or a candidate running for judge what their ruling's going to be, but what you can certainly ask them is what their view on racial equity is, fairness, inclusion, what have they done in that space, and whether they're black or white, that question has to be asked in this current cycle.
All right. So that's 10 a.m. today. That is going to be taking place, and it's online. And give us one more time the link where people can go in order to get on this event.
www.senatorAnthonyHWilliams.com/live. There will be a series of people that some you know, Donna Bullock, Kiera Bradford Gray, Michael Cord, and a number of other people who are part of the process who will be reporting on the certain condition in the court systems.
Got you. Now, in terms of some of the other things that are going on in our community that people are very concerned about, 7 people got shot yesterday at Broad and Olney. At Broad and Olney, right? Now, I've been driving for a number of years, but I have the occasion sometimes to go through Broad and Olney. My son happened to go through Broad and Olney just a couple of hours before that shooting took place. He wanted to catch the subway, and I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the level of gun violence in the city of Philadelphia, and so I'm going to ask you both on the city level. Councilman Johnson, what's being done and what can be done, what will be done about this gun violence?
Well, first and foremost, we're definitely going in the wrong direction as it relates to the gun violence that we have been seeing in the city of Philadelphia. I've been working very closely with my colleague, particularly Councilman Curtis Jones, and our district attorney and our police commissioner on a weekly basis, doing a deep dive on where the guns are coming from, who are shooting the guns, and most importantly, when individuals are carrying guns and being arrested and prosecuted, are they staying prosecuted or they're being released back out on the street? So that's work that we have been doing on a regular basis behind the scene, and also begin looking at when this upcoming budget process does take place, what are we doing to be proactive, to begin looking at how we're investing in those individuals who are most likely to kill or be killed. And I think that's the mark that we're missing in terms of investing and supporting our young people from a proactive standpoint, but also just as equally from a public safety standpoint. We got to crack down on, 1, where the guns are coming from, 2, those individuals who are carrying the guns and feel like they can just shoot up indiscriminately in the public during the daytime or as well as in the evening, that they're held and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and also making sure that those mothers and fathers who lost loved ones to gun violence, that they receive justice. And so I've been working and addressing this from a comprehensive standpoint and from a resource standpoint, trying to support our young people, but also public safety has to be our number one priority, because I have 2 sons. I still live in South Philadelphia. We go to and from the store in our neighborhood, and I want to make sure I'm safe just as well as, most importantly, them and my wife are safe. And so it's an issue that we have to step up and really address from a sense of urgency. But for me, rather it's the Olney shooting or us having 500 murders in 2020 or 1 or 2 people are shot every day, we all have to step up to the plate and address the issue more aggressively. And also on the community side, if people see something, they have to say something, right? Because we can't solve a homicide if individuals don't provide information. And so I'm also working to build that bridge and that relationship between the Philadelphia Police Department and members of our community, because we do need people to come forward to provide information so you can solve the homicide, so that person, when they are arrested and they are prosecuted, they don't get off on a technicality and get back out on the street and carry.
I got you. We got like 30 seconds. Senator Williams, on the state level, what's being done and what can be done about this gun violence?
two focuses. One, regarding finding the illegal guns, there's something called the Illegal Gun Task Force that's in Harrisburg, tracking down the guns that are in Philadelphia. It needs to grow exponentially, significantly, so they can have more staff on the street to find out where the guns are coming from and convict those who are involved in it. The second part, more significantly, is that we know, human intervention, human involvement, human connection with the shooters, as well as the community, need to be involved and supported, and they're not. So these community groups, which are funded but minorly funded, we are going directly to the state. There's an entity called the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency that funds a number of programs in Philadelphia. We're going to them directly to take, frankly, back range of that, so that you don't see so much studying with universities and more input into neighborhood groups that are working, on bubble gums and shoestrings and prayer, as opposed to that actually having staff. So we're going to work to increase the funding for community groups that are on direct lines of making connections with, people who are at risk, quote unquote, and those who are creating the risk at the same time.
All right. I want to thank you both for joining us this morning on WRD. Senator Williams, give us the link one more time for that event at 10 a.m. today.
It's www.AnthonyHWilliams. I apologize. Of course, it went down. www.SenatorAnthonyHWilliams.com/live. And Solomon, thank you for your work in that area that we talked about. You didn't bring it up, but, I know you haven't stopped. You're not relenting. You're not giving up. You're not walking away. And, we're going to continue to try our best to support you as well in that process.
All right, we appreciate that. We're going to go to break. That's Senator Williams, Councilman Johnson. Thank you both for joining us this morning on WURD.
Thank you.
All right. On the other side of this break, we are going to continue the show with Akbar Hassan. He's got your money advice. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Ambition. You can't measure it, configure it, or bottle it up. But when you have it, you know it. It's that little voice in your head that says, you're not done. You want more. At WGU, we know all about ambition. We're a university that is rewriting the rules of higher education, making it more accessible, affordable, and student-focused than it's ever been. Because we know you won't rest until you reach your goals. Neither will we. WGU. Ambition never rests. Apply now at wgu.edu.
Hi, this is John.
Hi, this is Juanita, owners of JD's Auto Body and Painting. We're located at 6300 Wayne Avenue, right there at the intersection of Wayne and Washington Lane.
We really like to thank all you WURD listeners for the support that you've given our business, and we really hope to see you in the future.
JD, tell them about our products and services we have.
We have a new state-of-the-art paint shop along with our body shop and detail shop. We can help you with the dents and scratches from the winter season.
Come to JD's Auto Body and Painting. Come on out and check us out. We're still honoring that WURD 10% discount. Give us a call, 215-848-5949. Again, 215-848-5949.
Thanks again for supporting our business. We really appreciate you.
See you at JD's Auto Body and Painting.
Listen to Laborers Live.
We created the weekend. We created the 40-hour work week. We just want enough to feed our family, be able to send our children to college, and let our next generation do better than we did.
To people that might have forgot how important unionism is in a country like the United States. People now infringing on our 8-hour workday, trying to work people more than 8 hours without overtime, trying to work people without benefits. In the long run, everybody's getting a fat paycheck except the worker. So this is really a wake-up call for America.
The struggle is continuous. Tune in to Laborers Live every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. Sponsored by LESIT, the Laborers Employers Cooperation Education Trust of the Laborers District Council of Philadelphia and vicinity.
Local 332, Sam Staten Jr. Business Manager. Local 57, Esteban Vera Business Manager. Local 135, Dan Woodall Jr. Business Manager. Local 413, James Harper Jr. Business Manager. The Laborers District Council, Ryan Boyer Business Manager, and Tony Staten, Executive Director of LESIT.
WURD Radio is independent black media.
And we're able to stay independent because of our forward movement and members like you.
Treat yourself to the treat of buying a WURD membership. It's less than a quarter a day. That's less than a bag of chips. And we really, truly need to keep this platform going so that we can stay connected as we reimagine our community in 2021.
Start or renew your forward membership today at wordradio.com/forward or call 215-425-7875. WURD Radio. Independent Black Media. Now, a traffic update
on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report's sponsored by America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses. Not a bad ride still here through the Philadelphia area. Speeds down as spots as a result of the weather, but overall a pretty good ride. Schuylkill Expressway westbound City out to Belmont, a bit slow. Eastbound side, not bad. Looking at the Vine Expressway through Center City, pretty good shape. Boulevard Route 1 southbound, no major problems there through the ongoing construction. Same thing 95 into Philadelphia both ways in pretty good shape there. Overall 42, 55, 295 in New Jersey. They remain late as well this morning. Don't overpay for glasses. Get 2 pairs and a free exam for just $69.95. The exam alone is worth $50. That's not just a better deal. It's America's Best. Book your exam online today. In certain states, eye exams provided by independent ophthalmologists. See stores for details. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Now, a WURD weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
Slippery conditions this morning with a wintry mix, light snow and freezing drizzle, and temperatures that are in the 20s, gradually warming into the low 30s at lunchtime and a high of 35 this afternoon. The showers finally taper off late this afternoon, and we clear out tonight, down to 24 Saturday morning. A blustery day, partly to mostly sunny skies. 33 the high, will feel like it's in the low 20s with the wind. Then less wind, but a cold morning Sunday, the low 17, with mostly sunny skies, warms to 36 Sunday afternoon. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley with your most accurate forecast. Count on it.
It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Don't do it. There's other ways to celebrate your anniversary other than going in debt. The fact that it's credit card debt tells me it's not any debt that was, needed. Past performance is not indicative of future results. So with that qualifier, don't walk, run.
And now, Akbar Hassan, only on Wake Up with WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM WURD, and I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD. Joining us now is Akbar Hassan. He's a personal financial advisor counseling individuals and small businesses. He has 3 decades of corporate finance experience in 2 of the world's largest law firms. He unwraps the mystery of money, offering practical, insightful, and easy-to-understand guidance. Akbar, good morning.
Good morning, Solomon. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm upset like everyone else about the shooting that happened this week.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's we just have to keep the finger on the wound, and because we're moving forward in what we're doing here with Man Up, and we just have to be consistent with what we do, and Man Up and the other wonderful agencies and groups that are out there helping gun violence. It's going to take an approach from everyone, but it's going to be a long process. It's going to be a long battle, but
it is.
We have to stay in this fight. Everyone has their different styles and ways of how they handle it and tackle it. Ours is through our, tackling through employment and criminal justice, education, fatherhood, and finance, and we just need to keep on and move forward with that. But
absolutely,
it can't be solved overnight. And just like they say about this COVID thing, it possibly will go up before it goes down. But the thing is to keep the finger on the pressure point and move forward. And that's what we're doing.
Absolutely. I couldn't put it better myself. I think that everybody has a role to play. And you might not think you have anything to give, but you do. If you are living a life that is free of gun violence, then you can show somebody else how to do that, right? How to go to work every day, how to take care of your family, how to take care of yourself, how to stay out of negative situations that lead to these kind of terrible outcomes. But it also goes to mindset, man. We got to help, especially our young brothers, man, to get a new mindset, to change the mindset that would let you think that it's okay to just let off 7 shots at Broad and Olney.
Yeah, very, very tragic, very tragic. And, I assume most of them were, not connected to the shooter. So just the fact that, all these innocent people were shot, through no fault of their own. Life's ruined, and not only their life, but the life of people who and their family will be affected somehow, some way. So, we just have to keep the pressure on, keep moving forward with this.
Absolutely. We absolutely do. And, of course, in keeping a job, you got to make sure that when you get paid that you actually do something productive with your money so that you are not always broke. We're tired of y'all messing up your money. That's why we got Akbar to answer your money questions. Akbar, what is the question that we have today?
All right, today's question. My debt is out of control. I'm thinking about going with a debt management company. Are these companies reputable? That's a great question because I hear advertisements about these things all the time. All right, so your debt is out of control and it's overwhelming, and you say to yourself, I need someone to help me get my debt under control. So what do? You solicit the help of a debt management company. All right, so it's great. So the mystery is, what does a debt management company do? All right, so they create a plan to help pay off your, and this is important, Solomon, your unsecured debt. All right, your unsecured debt. So what is unsecured debt? Any debt that's not backed with an asset or property. So debt such as credit cards, personal loans, some medical debt, payday loans, those are all unsecured debt, all right? So secured debts, on the other hand, those are backed by property or collateral. Think like car loans and mortgages, they don't qualify. Also, student loans do not qualify. All right, so it's something to think about. So if your unsecured debt is overwhelming and you think that, okay, I can't handle it, you walk into a debt management company, and what they do, they gather all your information, all right, and what they do, they work with the creditors. They call them up and try to negotiate lowering the interest rate, right, and waiving fees. The amount of the loan they do not reduce. So they don't say, okay, you owe $10,000, we're going to try to get it cut to $5,000. No, you still owe the same amount, but they do something with the fees and with the interest rate, all right? So when they do that, then they consolidate everything into one payment. You send your payment to the debt management company, and they divvy it up to all the different creditors. Sounds good so far, all right? Usually, in order to get into these plans, all your credit cards, you got to cancel, okay? By canceling your cards, you're going to get a big hit on your credit score. It's going to go down a lot, all right? So that's something to think about. In addition, if you miss one payment, you're kicked out the plan. All right. Usually, if you miss one payment, you kicked up the plan, and then all those interest rates that were reduced, all those fees that were waived, they're probably going to be added back to you. Now you have to pay it. So it's the plan is very strict. All right. So the question is it reputable? All right. Well, my aunt, unbeknownst to me, went and solicited the use of a debt management company. All right. After about a few months of her payments to them, she kept getting calls from the creditors. As it turns out, the debt management company was not sending the payments to the creditors.
Wow.
Exactly. Okay. I don't know how this ended up because she passed away. All right. But this is something to keep track of or keep in mind when you are looking for a debt management company, because there are so many companies out there that claim that they can manage your debt. Now, you can manage your debt yourself, okay? Because these debt management companies, remember this, they don't reduce the amount that you're paying. They just pretty much do the same thing you can do yourself. Call your creditors, say, listen, I'm in a jam. What can you do for me? And get on a plan with them. That's something you can do yourself. You can go to annualcreditreport.com, get your credit report, and then start listing all your unsecured debt from the lowest amount to the highest amount. Start with paying off the lowest amount, and then just keep paying on till you pay off the first one, the second one, the third one. That's the way to do it. A lot of people, they incur debt, but as soon as it becomes overwhelming, they take a hands-off approach. Okay? You have to, if it was hands-on when you incurred the debt, you got to be hands-on when you pay it off. Okay, so instead of putting your hands, and also a debt management company, they have monthly fees. So you're paying someone usually an upfront cost and a monthly fee to manage to take your money and send it to your creditors. The amount that they reduced your interest rate for, you actually lost out because you're paying the management company a monthly fee. So that doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so again, if you're totally, everything is not for everyone. If you're totally cannot manage your own debt at all, I mean, everything is overwhelming, then by all means, look for something with a better Business Bureau rating and possibly a nonprofit, and solicit the help of them. But for most of us, we can run our own reports and we can manage our own debt without paying an extra fee. We can make the phone calls ourselves. It's a little legwork, but it's worth it in the end. And more importantly, you'll be more satisfied by taking the hard road because you won't go down that path ever again. And by doing that, you will lead a financial successful life after all this is paid off.
There you go. There you go. Manage your own debt. That really is the bottom line. Is that right, Akbar?
That's it. Manage it. You got in it. You got to get out.
Yeah.
You know, when you put the work in yourself, then you remember, I'm never going back to that bad place again. But when you try to make getting out of a situation easy, then you're liable to do it again.
Man, you preaching now. That's that advice you get from your mom. That's how I know your mom is the one who taught you about finance.
Hey. What can I say?
Man, oh man, oh man. But that is absolutely right. It is easy to get in trouble. It's hard to get out. But taking a hard path is the path that will make you not do it again. So, Akbar, how do people get in touch with you?
I'm on email at akbar-hassan@comcast.net and Twitter at AKHassanReal.
All right. That is Akbar Hassan. He is, of course, a veteran financial consultant. He joins us every Friday to talk about your money. Just wise advice. Akbar, have a great weekend, man. Stay warm.
You too, Salman.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. So we want to hear from you. Give us a call. 215-634-8065 is the number you can call to get in. 215-634-8065 is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. And, of course, at 8:40, Kawesa is going to bless us with a song. Kawesa, we cannot wait. We are really looking forward to it, as we do every week.
I'm excited, yay.
All right. All right. I'm not going to ask you what you're going to sing till we get to the other side.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that. But I do want to know what folks are saying right now, of course, on Facebook. And that is where you can weigh in at 4WURD. That's FORWURD, FORWURD. That is where you can weigh in on Facebook and let us know where you are on these various things we are talking about on this morning's show. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So a couple comments here. Gail Robinson says, love it, Akbar. Great information, as always. Very useful. Michelle Branch, thanks so much for checking us out. Numa St. Louis and David F. Harris, thanks for checking us out also. And then Kamara Jordan says, also, Akbar, the nonprofit organization entitled Clarify is excellent. They take you through the debt reduction process for free. So that's another comment that we have here as well. L. Campbell says, great advice, lesson learned in regards to what Akbar was talking about. And then also Brenda Bellinger, good morning to you. She's saying, good morning, Word family. Have a blessed day and weekend. And Louise Wright says, sorry, I think she was responding to someone. I'm sorry. I don't know what the context. Okay, I'll just go on to the next one. Sorry about that. Kathleen West is saying, good morning, Solomon and Kawesa and Word family. Have a blessed and safe weekend. Malik Stewart is saying, I am tired of hearing cops and law officials say, if you see something, speak up. If you want to, you can find the killers of the white guy in Brewery Town in a couple days. Mind you, the killers had masks and hoods on. If you can find them, you can find whomever they want to. So that's another comment. Gail Robinson is talking about Ted Cruz saying his mother is a U.S. citizen, his father is a white Cuban. Enough said. So that's another comment that we have. And then lastly, I think someone else said, this is Walter Davis saying, thanks, Akbar. Hassan, he said, Bill Cosby said it best in the movie Uptown Saturday Night. I get mean when they mess with my green. So that's actually a really good movie. So yeah, those are a few comments that we have on our Facebook page, but keep them coming.
Keep them coming. So on the other side, Kawesa is going to sing, and we are going to be blessed by that. So we are looking forward to that. Tell your mama them, tell your daddy them, tell your cousin them. Kawesa sings. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Words from our past. Word Radio celebrates the powerful voices of Black history.
Reverend Dr. Leon H. Sullivan.
If there is anything in earth that makes man akin to God, it is his power to believe. For things are to us what they are on the basis of what we believe them to be, whether they be true or whether they be false. If, for example, you believe that a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points, then for you this is true in spite of the fact that there is no such thing as a straight line in a crooked world.
Words from our past, exclusively on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. This episode brought to you by Comcast.
Hey, Word family. Our friends at Amoroso's Baking Company are hiring right now. Amoroso's has been baking the delicious bread in our community for over 100 years, and they want you to join their team today. The old and the young love Amoroso's, and they are hiring right now. Check it out. They offer fair pay and provide health, dental, and prescription plans after 90 days employment. Call 856-754-0355 or visit amorososbaking.com for details.
Tune in Saturdays from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. to hear Empire Capital and Consulting founder Mark Palmer's show titled Black Money, Black Power. This show centers around black money and how black power is derived from money. Tune in every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Black Money, Black Power. Hosted by Mark Palmer.
Well, the kids are in bed. Time for a little grown-up quiet time.
What do you mean quiet time? It's your birthday. We're about to party.
Haha, funny. It's gonna have to be a you and me party this year. You know we can't have anybody over.
Well, your mom and dad are coming from Florida. Sis will be here from California. Oh, and a couple of old friends from just about everywhere will be showing up. They should all be here about now.
COVID-19 has changed the way we do things, for now. But social distancing doesn't mean you can't be social. COVID-19 doesn't have to keep us apart. Friends and family are finding new ways to be together, especially with how hard it's hitting the black community. Vaccines are here, but until enough of us are vaccinated, we still have to be down with slowing the spread. Keep a 6-foot distance, wear a mask, and avoid indoor social gatherings. Learn more about vaccines and slowing the spread at cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Back by popular demand. It's Wake Up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on Word Radio,
96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word. And of course, we are getting ready to be blessed because Kawesa Mathis is going to bless us with a song, as she does every Friday at 8:40 right here on Wake Up with Word. Kawesa, what are we going to hear this morning?
Okay, so it's really cold outside, and I don't like the cold weather anymore, and so I would like to sing the song "Summertime" from the play Porgy and Bess. It's actually one of my favorite songs from several musicals that I love anyway. But and also we've been running this commercial with talking about Pearl Bailey, and she was in that play as well. So I figured, why not?
All right.
So that's what I'm going to sing.
Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, y'all gonna rise up singing. Then you spread your wings and fly to the sky. But until that morning, there's nothing can harm you. With mama and daddy sending by. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 man. Makes me long for summer. I'm longing for summer anyway because it's cold as I don't know what. But that was absolutely beautiful, man. We want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. You know, I depend on being hype, Kuwait, and now you got me all mellow. I'm like, ooh, that's mellow. You know what I mean? Oh, man, so beautiful. I want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That's the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio as we hasten toward the close, man. It is Friday, and Friday's such a special day. Of course, we get our financial advice from Akbar, and then we are blessed every Friday with just the wonderful sounds of Kawesa Mathis. So we want to hear from you. You can certainly give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about on this morning's show, 215-634-8065. Of course, we're talking about a number of things, including our top three stories, which are story number one, 6 U.S. Capitol Police officers suspended with pay, 29 others placed under investigation for their actions in the January 6th riot. Story number two, Malcolm Kenyatta, state representative from North Philly, is running for the U.S. Senate. And story number three, yesterday, Senator Ted Cruz claimed he was sorry for leaving Texas for Cancun in the middle of a deadly weather crisis. It made me sick, especially when he claimed, with school canceled for the week, our girls asked to take a trip with friends. Wanting to be a good dad, I flew down with them last night, and now I'm flying back this afternoon. And, you know, here's the thing, right? Being a good dad is setting a good example, man. How you run away when people are dying, freezing to death in the state you represent in the U.S. Senate. Are you kidding me? 215-634-8065 is the number. Let's go to the phone lines, talk to Miss Marie on line 2. Go ahead, Miss Marie.
Good morning, Solomon and Miss Creasa. Okay, I got to the phone, to the radio just in time, coming out of the kitchen, drinking my coffee, whatever. But anyway, she has that beautiful voice that God gave to her, and she's going to use it. She has good talent. And I love Solomon Jones and the WURD station, okay?
No,
so I have to find out how much the membership is, let me know, and so I can renew mine and my brother. And that cruise, that's a bunch of tales, okay? So they tell lies. But anyway, when the shoe is on the other foot, God will let them know what's going on. So we can just keep blessing and holding on to God and listen to him. He's going to fix it, okay? God fixes it all. So keep doing what you're doing because you're blessed, Reverend. That's why I always call, I said, Reverend, take care. God bless everyone.
God bless you, too, and thank you so much for the call this morning on WURD. Shaquille from the Northeast is on line 3. Go ahead, Shaquille.
Morning, Solomon. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I like calling the station every morning, give my little 2 cents.
Okay.
I do want to say good morning to my family, to the Word family, and to Queen Croatia. Is she sitting right there with you?
No. But
Okay.
she can hear you. Go ahead.
She got a voice for like 1,000 angels.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she needs to have a wedding, be like a wedding singer as a side hustle.
Nah, we want bigger than that.
Excuse me?
I said we want something bigger than that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Give her a record
absolutely.
contract.
Mm-hmm.
Give her a record contract. She deserves it. She got a voice of like 1,000 angels.
Absolutely.
Yes, she can sing.
Yeah, absolutely. Shaquille, thank you so much, man. We appreciate your call, brother. We appreciate your call this morning on WURD Radio. Let's go to Maurice from Southwest on line 4. Go ahead, Maurice.
Yeah, I'm signing the old head records. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
You know what I mean? I got my office at the Blue Moon, so she come on down and see me. But listen, I just want to know, what type of job is that at the Port Authority? I mean, what do you do when you're sitting on the board?
Come on, bruh.
No, I'm not going to get deep. I just want to know what type of job. I'm going to go no farther than that.
I don't know exactly what that entails. I've never sat on the board of a Port Authority.
Solomon, I ain't trying to mess up the vibe, because you got it going on. I'm jumping off right now.
All right, thanks, Maurice. I appreciate your call. Renee from West Oak Lane is on line 1. Go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, good morning, Solomon. Coesa, I just want to say your voice is gorgeous, and that rendition of Summertime with Ford and all that. And if I was a music producer, I would sign it right now. The music industry is weary and a thirsty need for your type of tone, your voice. It has a Nancy Wilson tone to it and other artists. I just want to also get into the thing of Broad-Nolany. I just want to say Broad-Nolany is a pinpoint of Philadelphia, like there's other pinpoints where it's really bad action happens. There's been cops shot there at Broad-Nolany and I just want to know, Outlaw and the mayor, I really haven't heard anything response from them. I just want to know now, to heavily surveillance right now at Broad-Nolany, why there's not heavily surveillance there anyway at Broad-Nolany and other pinpoints of Philadelphia. And I just want to say everybody have a good weekend, and I just want to throw that out there.
All right. I want to thank you so much for your call this morning at WURD. As I mentioned in my commentary, my son happened to be traveling on public transportation the day where 7 people were shot at Broad-Nolany, and he had passed through there a couple of hours before on his way to a school. He plays on the basketball team and was going there to meet the team because they were going to the game on the team bus, right? So he passed through Broad-Nolany, and I asked him, did you see any police officers there? And he said he saw them underneath, in the part where you go down to get on the subway. There were some police officers underneath there, but he didn't see any anyway above ground. Doesn't mean they weren't there. But I know that normally when the kids are in school, there are police officers above ground. There are normally some below ground as well, especially around, near 3 in the afternoon when this shooting took place. And, I just think that, man, we got to do more. We got to do more. Gail from the Northeast is on line 2. Go ahead, Gail.
Good morning, Solomon.
Good morning.
And I just want to say, when Clarissa was saying, how you sit and even picture beautiful thoughts because you see them just going across, listening to her sing. That inner beauty just takes over. Oh, my God. That's awesome. She has a future in it, no matter what anybody says. Beautiful. And as far as Broad-Nolany, when I was growing up, and I guess I'll say back many years, Broad-Nolany was always that hub. It was always something going on, but never to that magnitude. And it was always put out there, always. And I just say we got to do better. And as far as we have to really understand, he had no intentions of coming back. He got caught. He had a big suitcase with him.
Yep.
Let's be real. He wasn't even worried about that. He got the backlash. He showed them who he truly is. And like Maya Angelou said, when they show you and tell you who they are, believe them. He's a grifter. He's always been that way. And it starts even when you think about his father, and from the time that he was a GOPer, and that's why 45 called him out, because his father was heavily involved in the GOP and all the conspiracies back then. But anyway, I want to thank you for this show. Thank you for Akbar, but thank you immensely for letting us hear Koisa sing that beautiful song. Thank you, Solomon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD Radio. And, of course, folks weighing in on Facebook as well at ForWord. That's FORWURD. FORWURD. That is where you can weigh in, where you can watch and check out what we are doing on this morning show. Koisa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So we have quite a few comments here. Robert Silver White says, IFKS, it's Friday, Koisa singing. Oh my gosh, okay. Robert Silver says, sing, sing, sing. There's a lot of comments here, guys. Oh, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. And then Emily Stewart says, let me strike her chord for you. Me, 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 me. So that's another comment that we have here. And then also Patrick Duff bringing that deep tone. Oh gosh, you guys. Walter Davis, sing it, Pearl. I mean, Koisa. Sana Moore, thank you so much for the comment. She says, sang Koisa. Antoinette Bevins Pickens, beautiful voice. Sing that song. I love it. And then we also have Tangela Price, beautiful. My favorite. Bent Ray, I got chills from you singing. Thank you so much. I can't believe it. I'm sorry. I'm just like I'm touched. I really am touched. Like it's bringing tears to my eyes right now. Because it's hard. I feel very vulnerable when I sing in front of people. So I'm like, I'm not going to get emotional. I'm going to hold it in. But I really appreciate just Michelle Branch. Thank you, Zen Motley, Walter Davis, Rebecca Truxton, Carol Keller, all of you. Just I really appreciate just the wonderful comments. I'm taking screenshots of them because it just warms my heart so very much. Sandra Fields is checking us out. Yvette Miles, peace and love to my word family. Why won't our newly elected VP speak to the lawlessness of the insurrection on the Capitol building? Isn't this the perfect lead into our concerns about the differences between white justice and black injustice? Law is her strong suit. Let's get it on. We need real conversations even in the midst of the pandemic. So those are a few comments that we have here on our Facebook page. And just good morning to everyone who is weighing in. Thanks so much and keep them coming.
All right. As a creator, as a creative person, right? Somebody who has to literally use the skill that God has given to look at a blank sheet and put something on it. That's always intimidating, no matter how long you do it. If you're committed to it and love it and it is something that is from your soul, it always is going to be something that causes a little bit of consternation, a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of anxiety. But if God puts it in you, it's got to come out. And so that's why we do what we do. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what is going to happen with that gift. So you deserve all of those accolades and more. Just know that. We are going to go to break. On the other side, we are going to continue the show right here on WURD.
Temple University, Philadelphia's public university, is committed to meaningful change that resonates throughout our community. We are investing more than $1 million in anti-racism education and programming, including creating a center for anti-racism research, developing a bridge program for high school students in North Philadelphia, and expanding our Department of Africology and African American Studies, which is the first in the country to offer a doctoral program. Our students are the next generation of innovators and leaders championing a better tomorrow. Did you know you can catch the flu and COVID-19 at the same time, or even back-to-back? Don't risk catching the flu during the COVID-19 pandemic. The flu shot is a safe and effective way of reducing your chances of catching the flu or spreading it to others. And the flu shot helps protect you and your community from the worst effects of the flu. Don't say, I should have got my flu shot. Call your doctor or visit your pharmacist and get your flu shot today.
Okay, Her's new fire potato chips and cheese curls, they are spicy. Whew, they're hottest snacks yet, hold on. Whew, but it's not just heat. There's some nice sweet and savory stuff going on too. Ooh, there's that heat again. It burns, but it burns so tasty. Ooh, that's hot. Find Hers Fire Snacks at your store today. Whew. Taste the flavor, feel the heat, break out the Hers.
Tune in every Saturday at 4 p.m. for the Did You Know Show with host Bryant Green, right here on WURD 96.1 FM and 900 AM.
Want the latest in Word swag?
Check out the shop tab on WordRadio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. The shop tab on WordRadio.com. Show the world that you're all about black.
Talk Media.
Join WURD's Cody Anderson and Reality Check host Charles Ellison on Tuesday, February 23rd at 10 a.m. for a special broadcast in partnership with Philadelphia Forum for Faith, Law, and Giving for a conversation on the legacy of Reverend Dr. Leon Sullivan as we celebrate his extraordinary accomplishments and explore how we replicate and expand his strategies to build and sustain community and economic development. This discussion will feature community leaders in conversation with Cody Anderson and Charles Ellison. You won't want to miss this special broadcast, Tuesday, February 23rd at 10 a.m. exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on WordRadio.com and the WURD Radio app, or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube.
Tune in to More Than That with Gia Peppers live this Sunday, February 21st at 1 p.m. on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM, or wherever you listen to podcasts. This episode of More Than That is sponsored by General Motors, who is committed to becoming the most inclusive company in the world. Everybody in.
Celebrating Black history all day,
every day. Medgar Evers.
All we want you to do is keep going with this fight for freedom. When we get this unity, ladies and gentlemen, nothing can stop us.
This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Philadelphia, independent Black media. It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio,
96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD. Joining us now is Erica Alexander, known for her iconic acting roles as Maxine Shaw on Living Single and Cousin Pam on The Cosby Show. She's the co-founder and the chief creative officer of Color Farm Media. They develop and produce scripted and unscripted content for film, television, streaming, and podcasts. And they've got a new project called Reparations, The Big Payback. It's a podcast. Erica Alexander, welcome to the show.
Thank you, and good morning. I appreciate it. So happy to be
Good
here.
morning. So how'd you make the decide to make the transition from acting to being a creator and a producer behind some of these projects?
It was just a necessity, I think, and natural sort of progression. I started in the business when I was 14 in Philadelphia at Freedom Theater. I did a movie called My Little Girl, and from there I always knew, or I figured out fairly quickly that I was a tool, but I wanted to be a tool maker. And in showbiz, it's very hard to sort of figure out what the industry is. First, you're very happy to be an actor, you're happy to get parts, and you're so excited. And then you realize there's not much power you have unless you're a very big actor or you're very successful. So I started realizing that the creators had all the power, at least from my point of view. And it was right around the Cosby Show that I started to thought, I should teach myself how to write. And then I realized I didn't have much discipline for it at the time, but I got the discipline. I ended up having a creative partner and a marriage that sort of taught me what that was about. And then eventually we started collaborating together, and then we moved on from the marriage, but not from the collaboration creatively. And I was much more satisfied in a creative seat.
Yeah, I think that when you're creating stuff, though, it literally this is you putting yourself out there and allowing people to judge what it is that you have created, right? Is that a different kind of creativity when you are the writer rather than the vessel through which that writing is shown on screen?
Most definitely. I mean, it's different types of muscles, obviously. If you're on screen, you're creating a role. You are using your body and your instruments and all sorts of things. So I don't want to say that that's not a part of the type of creation, but it's just not. You're not the original creator. You've come after the blueprint has been set. You've been called way after these things have been done, and you're lucky to be called at all. I really wanted to be a part of it because I saw that there were very few roles for dark-skinned actresses. And then I thought, well, if I want to play those roles, I probably should create those roles. And, just as an example, I was watching, Mad Men, and everyone had the complaint at the time that Matthew Weiner did not have enough black people in the show, especially because it was the 60s and the 50s and 60s, and they thought it's New York, why aren't they, sort of mixing it up more? And he gave an explanation that he thought was, I guess, it worked for him, but it didn't work for me. He said, well, that really wouldn't have happened in the area that they were living in and the types of jobs they were doing. And I said, you know what? There were parallel institutions inside of segregation in New York, and there were other people who did advertising, and especially to black people. And so I wrote a Mad Men script called Uptown Saturday Night, and then it was viral. I put it out there, and people started to know I wrote. It's still out there. People can read it if they want to. But the point was, instead of having the criticism, I said, you know what, I'm just going to show them this has existed. At the time, I had a father-in-law who was a pioneering salesman in liquor. And so I created a role around my father-in-law named Leon Early, which is his name. And boom shakalaka. There you go. It's one of those things where you say, I create one place, but there I'm an original creator, or I'm more responsible for the production of it.
Yeah. And I think, when you talk about Hollywood or any of these places where this stuff is created, there's colorism, there's racism, there are all of these things. And like, what responsibility do you feel as somebody who's creating, to really speak to some of that stuff?
Listen, to me, it's like sink or swim. You got to do it, or you don't. There's a lot of look. It's not for everybody to just show up and start to write and create. I believe that that's a real craft, and to your point, what you do, everybody might want to do it, but there's the people who do it, and there's people who are successful at it, and the people who advance and progress at it. I wanted to be an actor, and was being successful being an actor, but there were no parts for me. There were no parts because people didn't think I was an ingenue. They didn't think I was this. They didn't think and why not start to create some of those things that people don't think? If they don't have the wherewithal or imagination or even, the creativity to do it, then it's up to people to create those types of roles or those types of projects. We have Black Panther because there were two Jewish men, Stan Lee and the great Jack Kirby, who created Black Panther, but we needed Christopher Priest and his genius and his point of view to bring that more forward in the comic books, and then we needed Ryan Coogler to be successful enough to create the space that they gave to him, and then we needed Chadwick Boseman. Those are all creators, but in the end, we need people to start thinking that way a long time ago. So still we had Gene Roddenberry and these types, and Octavia Butler and Samuel Delany in science fiction. But we need more of those people in speculative fiction so we can move forward. Because if it's just left to mostly white men, which at the time that's what it was when I had started, then that's all you get is that point of view. So colorism is one thing, all sorts of other things that happen. So after a while you say, I'll just do it myself. Now, again, there's one thing to create it, there's another thing to produce it. And that's a whole other conversation.
Mm-hmm. And so your most recent project is a podcast called Reparations, The Big Payback, and you are looking at a big topic, in reparations. And so why'd you choose that particular topic for this podcast?
Well, I produced the John Lewis film along with Don Porter, our director, and Laura Michael Chisholm, and my partner, Ben Arnon. Last year, it came out, and it was successful, and I was happy for it. But a lot of the stuff I've been doing for a long time, especially inside of being an activist, was around, issues. And one of the things that came up was reparations. I believe in reparations. I believe that white America stole something very valuable from African Americans, not just their freedom. It showed that it stole their inheritance. And their inheritance would have been that if they stayed in Africa, you took the best and the brightest. You took them for hundreds of years and millions of people, and they weren't able to enrich themselves or be a part of their country. Yeah. And then we weren't allowed to be a part of this one. So you should give something to the people who helped build America, but did and helped sustain it and gave their life's blood and suffering and all these other things and hundreds of years of, labor. But we're still oppressed and all these other things are happening. So I believe in reparations because they have not done that. And so I was doing a documentary with Whitney Dow, who's my creative partner on this. And then a natural progression of that was, hey, how about a podcast? Somebody asked us, and we started to create it. And here we are with Charlamagne the God on his Black Effect podcast network, and he gave us the resources, and so we're doing it. So that's what happened.
All right. We're talking with Erica Alexander. She is an actress. She is a writer. She is a producer. And she is co-founder and chief creative officer for Color Farm Media. Their latest project is Reparations, The Big Payback. It's a podcast. And so what can we expect to hear that we have not heard in this podcast on the issue of reparations?
Well, I believe when I started this journey, I mistook the reparations movement as a personal admission or a payment of just monetary and, of course, the moral debt toward me and fellow African Americans. But I learned, and I'm convinced now because I was educated by a lot of great experts and people who are committed in the issue, that was too limited of a point of view. The debt resides within the very fabric of America. We call America the beautiful. Beautiful. We say it's sea to shining sea. Well, inside of that sea to shining sea, inside of the DNA, is the debt for African Americans to be paid by reparations. So therefore, it's the government's debt to pay. And so I'm hoping that they see that this is not just about a check. It's the obligation of individual institutions and corporations and all these other things to start to address this debt. And, we heard about it when places like Georgetown, it sold, almost 270-something slaves in the 1830s. And they were coming to grips with and implementing their own reparative programs. So you hear stuff about that. You hear about the history of reparations. You hear about the people, the experts in COBRA, Alderwoman Robert Ruth Simmons, who just passed the first reparations bill in American history. In 2020, that's exactly 400 years from the time the first slave touched down in 1619. All these things are happening. Sheila Jackson Lee with H.R. 40. But you also hear from other people like Bob Johnson from BET who believe in reparations. You hear from people who believe it's a horrible idea who are white and black. The point is to have a conversation, but for us to lay it out there. I am not by no means the type of activist that has put their blood and sweat in this for decades and 100 years. But I am a person who's interested in it, thought I could tell a good tale about it, and start to point people to the blueprints and the breadcrumbs so they can find it for themselves. And it's actually really fun. We're having a great time doing it.
Do you see yourself as an activist?
Yes. Yes, I am an activist. I've been one for quite a while, even before I knew what the definition of it was. My father was a preacher, Church of God in Christ, and my mother was a teacher and a social worker. So it's, I think in my DNA, talk about that. And both of them were orphans. And I'm one of 6, and I spent the first 11 years of my life in a hotel called Starlight off of Route 66. A lot of the things that we experienced were because we were outside the mainstream, not only being black, being poor, but also in Arizona. I grew up in the mountains of Arizona in Flagstaff. Some of the things I was looking for, not just as an actress, later on, I was looking for things that could help my family. My father passed away fairly early. He had his first heart attack at 35. He died of being black, not just having a bad heart. My mother had to work and struggle. She was a non-traditional student. She couldn't go all the time, but she managed to get her master's. There were very few loans back in the day for a person like her until they changed the laws, and we got them. So I started to learn about the works of people who were doing those things, and I became a huge Hillary Clinton surrogate and worked with her for 10 years. She sent me all over the world, including Africa, to not only learn about women and children, but also to advocate and work inside of that space. And then I, of course, got to learn, because I met her, all of these really powerful people, including Stacey Abrams and Ayanna Pressley. We campaigned together for her campaign with John Lewis in 2016. Yeah. We also, I've also been working with, children at risk for a long time, since I was on Cosby Show doing dance-a-thons and whatever I could do. Like I said, I didn't know what it was. I just knew that I wanted to help, and I believed that it was a social contract between me and the world. And the reason I was here was to help create a better space for someone else, even if it wasn't for me. So I'm an activist, I can say that.
We're talking with Erica Alexander. She is the co-founder and chief creative officer of Color Farm Media. Their most recent project is a podcast called Reparations, The Big Payback. And you talked about reparations being bigger than just the money, right? And when you said that your father died not just of a heart attack, but of being black, it made me think about so many things. It made me think about us being more vulnerable to COVID-19 because racism has us with all of these conditions. And it made me think about, slavery and the aftermath, and Arizona, where my daughter lives, so I know exactly what you're talking about. All of those things, like, blackness has all of that in it. And so when you talk about passing away from being black, what does that mean?
It means that being black is its own burden. It's one of the most beautiful things that's ever happened to us, to come out of this, into this world in this skin and in this awareness. But it's also been ground zero, because we've been unfairly subjected in a unrelenting campaign to be dehumanized and to be supplanted out of our space, moved around, targeted, all these things. You talk about COVID-19, to use your example. White people, when they saw the public lynching of George Floyd and then Ahmaud Arbery, they got shook. Mm-hmm. After a series of filmed happenings on people's phones, and they saw white terrorist acts delivered on their personal live feeds every day, they had to start seeing what black people have been talking about forever. Then they were shook with the realities of COVID-19 pandemic. That's a plague, sure, and it's affecting everyone. But it made very plain the invisible caste system and the social disparities that intellectuals and reparations advocates have been fighting for and speaking about all the time. So we have this convergence of all these things, along with openly racist administration that was there, and it was created like a race and poverty tsunami, and it washed past the shores of polite conversation. It's in the homes of every American, whether you're black or white or red, blue, whatever, and it did more to deliver a living example of a hypothetical discussion than anything had in 60 years. It's hypothetical for people to look at my father's life as an orphan and this and that, and, the burden he had, and say, oh, he just pulled a short straw. But I can assure you that he had more human potential in him. And the things that oppressed him the most were things that he couldn't get over, and they're often invisible to us. They're invisible because they stop you from getting loans, stop you from getting education, stop people targeting you with these, they call them microaggressions. Well, they weren't micro back in the day. They were major aggressions, especially toward black men. And what you had to do to get over, it was exhausting. It still is. So that's what I mean. That you can die just for being black, brokenhearted, frustrated, burnt out. And he was many of those things. But he was also, they say, oh, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, get your education, work hard like I did. I did that. Yeah, sure you did. But you also had an invisible system propping you up, not making sure those things didn't happen you just off the face of you showing up and having a black face. But that doesn't happen for black people. We show up, and there's all sorts of things that happen in people's minds and in those systems, legislative policies and all those things, because they're built into the DNA. It is an ugly, toxic, evil thing, racism, prejudice, and obviously bias. And sure, it doesn't discriminate. There are different layers, but black people get it just on the face of it. So that's what I mean, but they died being black.
That's Erica Alexander. She is an activist, a actress, and co-founder and chief creative officer of Color Farm Media. And most recently, Color Farm released John Lewis' Good Trouble, a documentary film about the legendary congressman and civil rights icon was released. And also, they have a new podcast project. I want you to check it out. It's called Reparations, The Big Payback. Erica, where can we see it? Where can we hear it?
You should go to anywhere that you listen to your favorite programs and podcasts, because they'll be there. So that's Apple, and otherwise you can definitely go to the we have actually a reparations website called Reparations The Big Payback, and it'll be a link there. You can do it on Spotify. So wherever you get your programming, please go there and please tell a friend. And also tell us how we're doing. Let us know on Color Farm Instagram if you like, and please also, if you can, join colorfarmmedia.com, and so we can start to have a conversation with you when we have things like this coming out, because we're doing great partnerships for the future. And obviously our business model, because we're not the biggest media company in the world, are collaborations and partnerships. So that's how you find out what we're up to, and maybe one day we can, who knows, partner with somebody really cool out there that's, interested in that.
All right. Erica Alexander, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I will be checking it out.
Thank you, Solomon. I appreciate that. Thank you. We appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for your support. All right. Brother.
You are welcome. You are welcome, and thank you. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to continue the show right here on WURD.
I went to check on Pop today. We put our hands up to the glass as if we were touching. But really, the only touching part was that we both tried to smile.
That's no way to say hello or goodbye. COVID-19 vaccines are here, but until enough of us are vaccinated, we'll all still need to help slow the spread. Keep a 6-foot distance, wear a mask, and avoid indoor social gatherings. Learn more about vaccines and slowing the spread at cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Olaniyan Adefume, author of the Book of Questions, needs your help. He is seeking out responses for an updated version of the Book of Questions Series 2. The topics of the book cover issues of religion, race, sex, economics, politics, and health. One example would be, what do you think of the Capitol riot of January 6, 2021? For more information, reach out to him directly at 215-678-3830 or email him at oadefumi@yahoo.com.
Hello, I'm Jose Hernandez, and I have been using a wheelchair since my accident in 1995. I guess if I had one message for the general public, it would be that I appreciate your help, but please ask first. I know you mean well, but I've actually got everything under control. And if I don't, I'll ask for assistance. People with disabilities just want the same respect and consideration as everyone else.
This is a message from United Spinal Association. Download our disability etiquette booklet at unitedspinal.org.
I would like to play a little tune I just composed not so long ago.
Hey family, do you like hearing the best jazz selections aired by 3 of the best jazz announcers in Philadelphia? Well, tune in to 96.1 FM,
96.1 FM,
and 900 AM, WURD Radio, independent black media for Freedom Sounds of Jazz.
Freedom Sounds of Jazz.
Hear Freedom Sounds of Jazz 10 p.m. Fridays with your hosts in rotation, Aquila, Jonathan Bay, and David Fritz. That's 10 p.m. Friday nights on WURD 96.1 FM and 900 AM, independent black media.
Need a new mattress? Stop by to see Julian, the Mattress Man, located at 7421 Stenton Avenue. You deal directly with the owner, Julian, to ensure the best prices on name brand mattresses like Sealy Posturepedic. Call 215-424-5550. That's 215-424-5550.
It's Women of Color Her Story Month 2021 in the City of Sisterly Affection. This is a time to celebrate the power, legacy, and achievement of Black women. Brought to you by New Voices for Reproductive Justice, based here in Philadelphia. This year's theme is Black Majesty. You are invited to 4 virtual events from February 15th to March 15th. Visit womenofcolorherstory.org and WOC Her Story on Facebook and Twitter for full event details.
Celebrating Black history all day, every day. Maddie Humphreys.
You can't proclaim that people have inalienable rights from a common creator and say you own some of those people.
This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Philadelphia, independent Black media. You're waking up
with WURD,
hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio,
96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Circuits are busy.
Here's what's trending.
Yo, that's crazy.
On Wake Up with WURD.
Black history fact, Betty Boop was inspired by a black jazz singer. She may have been drawn as an old Hollywood pinup girl, but cartoon Betty Boop was actually based on Esther Jones, a Harlem-based jazz singer. Jones was known for her use of boops in her singing, as well as what was called a childlike scat, similar to that of her illustrated counterpart.
And Meek Mill is in hot water after referencing Kobe Bryant in one of his latest songs. On Wednesday, a snippet began to surface on social media, and one lyric stood out like a sore thumb. The lyric in question, "If I ever lack, I'm going out with my chopper, it'd be another Kobe." The late sports icon will be a name likely included in many future hip-hop references, but this wasn't even effective in addition to it being plain cruel.
And could Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson be eyeing the White House in the future? Apparently, that prospect isn't completely out of the question. He says, "I would consider a presidential run in the future if that's what the people wanted." Truly, I mean that, and I'm not flippant in any way with my answer. That would be up to the people. So I would wait and I would listen. I would have my finger on the pulse, my ear to the ground, and that is what's trending.
All right, so that's what's trending right here on WURD Radio. Of course, WURD Radio is a small business. We're a focused team of hosts, producers, and staff doing everything we can to serve Black people. We're dedicated to putting the needs of Black people front and center every day, and we honor the names of those who have made Black history. Yes, there's Dr. King, Shirley Chisholm, Marcus Garvey, Toni Morrison, Malcolm X, and the list goes on. But how are you making Black history? This is one of the most challenging times in history, and we need you to stand with us. For $100 per year, which is $1.73 a week, you can take action. Let us know what matters to you. Sign up today at wordradio.com/join now. And at checkout, type in the name of a person in Black history that you honor, or the host that sent you. You can type in Solomon Jones. And we want your voice to be heard. So become a member right here at WURD Radio. For more information, go to wordradio.com/join now. So we want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let's go to Derek from North Philly on line 1. Go ahead, Derek.
Good morning, Brother Solomon. Love, peace, blessings, and prosperity.
Same to you.
Thank you, brother. You know, Solomon, it's so much trouble in the world right now. But one thing that I keep in mind is that God so loved the world so much. And you know the rest. So yes. God loved the world, and I love this world. It's not all good, but it's not all bad either. That's why we're here to make it better. You know, Solomon, I think Queen Kawesa, she reminds me of a jazz singer. And there's a song. There's a song that Gloria Lynn had made some years ago. I Wish You Love. It's a great song. And I don't say that Kawesa sounds like Gloria Lynn, but she has a unique voice that will stand out like Gloria Lynn, if you know what I mean. You know, Solomon, I just want you to maintain yourself and keep your head up. I know you're fighting the battle, doing the best that you can.
Yeah.
And so, you know, just maintain yourself and give it to God when it becomes too much for you.
No doubt.
I like to say also to the elderly people, just hold tight and maintain. I know it's serious out here right now, but there's people in place that are fighting for you, fighting for everyone, because right now anybody can catch a bullet in Philadelphia, whether you're in the womb, whether you're an infant, or whether you are a senior. And so we're just going to continue to fight the good fight. Love, peace, blessings, and prosperity.
Same to you, Derek. And
thank you, Solomon.
You're absolutely right. And I want to thank you for raising that point, man. Let's go to Veronica from North Philly on line 2. Go ahead, Veronica.
Good morning, Solomon. Good morning, Kawesa. I missed the scene, but I know how to go back. What I wanted to say was that I network for the station. I try to get everybody to join and listening every day. I'm always sharing to everyone. But what I really wanted to say was I'm a senior, and I've kind of been locked down for the last year off and on. I do things, but not nearly as much as I used to do. But this radio station keeps me active because I've got to meet a lot of people on this station and such good information that I can share, and it keeps me mobile and it keeps me moving. And I'm just so grateful for WURD. I'm grateful for you, Solomon. I'm grateful for all the information that you give, all the time that you give to us, and things that we need that is necessary. And I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. God bless
You're so
you.
welcome.
God bless your family. And I would like to see Kawesa's face again like you used to do when you was in the office. So could y'all get that together? And thank you. God bless your family and have a wonderful weekend.
All right. All right. Well, I want to thank you for that. And that's above my pay grade, but we will make a note that you said that because I think it's important. And thank you for that. So let's go to Michael from Boston on line 3. Go ahead, Michael.
I just want to say, I'm your biggest fan. My family watches you every day on the radio, and just keep up the good work. And I hope you just hear you every single day on the radio.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that, and thank you and your family for listening from Boston. We certainly appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. And so, Kawesa, it's a lot going on, man. A lot going on. We're going into the weekend. It might warm up. I think it's supposed to warm up tomorrow. So some of this stuff might melt. Now, you've been traveling back and forth. How is the traveling in this mess?
Well, yeah. That was the worst laugh ever. I'm sorry.
That was more like a moan. That was like a groan, like, oh.
Yesterday was not a little. It was rough yesterday. I'm like about maybe 20 minutes from the station. It took me about 45 minutes to get home, but I took it slow. And then this morning, the roads really weren't too bad. It was the ice. Yeah. Oh my goodness! I was saying, earlier, that my light flashed before my eyes several times because I walked out my apartment and there was salt on the stoop, but of course where my foot stepped, there was no salt, and I was like zoop zoop, and I was like, oh my gosh! So that almost happened. Then I tried to walk to my car and almost lost it there, and then when I got here, I basically kind of slid my way to the front door. Oh, wow. It was interesting, but I made it. I got my Timbs on, but Timbs, they're good for the snow, but
not for the ice.
Not for the ice. They don't grip anything. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but I made it. Just anybody who's going out, just be safe, drive slow, walk slow, wear shoes with traction, and just be careful out there because I was walking slow. I was, and my foot was like, it could have been Bad News Bears, but I'm okay. I made it.
I'm glad you made it. So we want to hear from you. You can certainly give us a call at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. The other thing I'm wondering, and I'm trying to think, what was Meek Mill thinking in putting a line, if I have a lack, I'm going out with my chopper, it'll be another Kobe. Huh? I'm trying to think, what was he thinking? Maybe you can help me, Kawesa, since you're a little younger than me. Maybe you can help me to understand why he would do that. You know what I mean? So maybe some of y'all can help me understand, because, I'm not always the sharpest pencil on the stack. I don't know everything. And maybe y'all can help me to kind of get it, right? So give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about on this morning's show, 215-634-8065. And you can also weigh in on Facebook at ForWord, at FORWURD. That's FORWURD. And that's where you can weigh in and watch us as well. Angel from Upper Darby is on line 1. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Just calling.
You're breaking up, Angel. Try it again. Start from the beginning. Try it again.
When they're making those records, it's a room full of people. And the fact that it made it out the room onto a song and leaked out, it's a bigger problem in the community as a whole. So we just can't hold him accountable. We have to hold the entire staff that put that record together accountable.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right. But here's the issue. There's nothing that can't go on the songs now. So it's not like anybody saying, you know what, that might be too much. There's nothing that they say, you know what, no, I think you might not want to do that. There's nothing. I'm trying to think, what is it that has not been said?
Absolutely. I mean, nothing is even censored anymore. They can say the S word, the B, anything can come through on the radio nowadays.
Yeah, it's deep. It's deep, but you're right. I think you're right. The whole industry. Go ahead.
No, I just said it's the times that we're in. It's almost as if it's anything to make money, and now our kids have to be exposed to it. There's really nothing that you can do, and it's really sad, honestly.
Angel, I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD Radio. Kawesa, I was asking you about that. What was he thinking?
Was he thinking? I'm trying to. How do you fix your mouth to even say something like that?
Right.
I don't know. I felt a little offended, not a little. I felt a lot offended, and I can only imagine, what his family, would be thinking when you say something like that. Like what? And the fact of the matter is that, and for me, because of the fact that growing up, we saw Kobe grow up too. Like he's not that much older than me, and so it really hurt a lot of people in my age demographic. I know it hurt a lot of other folks too, but we really love Kobe Bryant. I mean, I know he wasn't always the greatest, but at the same time he was still an amazing person. He was a family man. He was an amazing basketball player. Like, come on. And I can't even believe that he would say something like that. And then also for Meek to be from this area and, knowing how much of an influence Kobe had also being from this area. Like, why would you fix your mouth to say that? I don't understand. He wasn't thinking. No, he wasn't thinking.
No, he wasn't. And, I think Angel brought up a good point that everybody's responsible. Everybody connected to it is responsible. But the thing is, there is nothing you can't say on a record now. Nothing. And so, why not talk about, how somebody died in a helicopter crash? You know what I'm saying? Like there is nothing, absolutely nothing that cannot be said. And I think that's the problem. I do. So, ain't nobody complain about, we talking about shooting each other. We talking about killing each other. It's like violent pornography. Ain't nobody saying nothing about none of that. So, why not say, I'm going to go out like Kobe in a helicopter crash? I just think at some point you got to say, you know what, enough is enough. You got to dial it back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not surprised. I'm not. Greg from East Falls is online too. Go ahead, Greg.
Hey, what's up, Simon? How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
I'm okay. First of all, with Ted Cruz, it's interesting. Didn't he support Donald Trump's efforts to build a wall?
Yes.
And then I'm finding out, I thought that's the way around, and that's where you wanted to go for vacation. That was just an oxymoron. I listened to Councilman Kenyatta Johnson and Anthony Williams, and I'm glad that they want to address, the inequities for, in the judicial system. And basically, these are people that they know, and, and they're using their influence to have a hearing. But what I'm concerned about, I would like for them to do, and I know they listen, why not have a hearing on the inequities of these judges sitting? Because that's the problem. That's a real problem. I mean, in Philly, you'll have, I know it's the judge's discretion. I got all of that. But at least begin the conversation. Because if you're going to talk about the inequities, if you got those and it's happening to the judges themselves, to me, we know that there are inequities when it filters down because it's already set in place. So I would like to see them expand that dialogue. And the last question I would ask is, even though it's at 10 o'clock this morning, how long have they been planning this session? Now, maybe it was out there. I just didn't hear it, so I'm not here to indict and say, well, they didn't do it. But something as important as this, I would have liked to have more notice. I'm going to try to get on that Zoom call. That's a major issue with me, and my advocacy. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I want to thank you for your call. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to continue to take your calls right here on WURD.
Toyota proudly presents In Their Own Words.
There was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
Who would have thought that little girl would grow up to make history as U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris? The first female U.S. Vice President, the first African-American U.S. Vice President, a proud graduate of Howard University, the first graduate of a historically black college or university to be VP. That's why she inspires and encourages our youth to dream big.
And to the children of our country, regardless of your gender, our country has sent you a clear message. Dream with ambition. Lead with conviction. See yourselves in a way that others may not, simply because they've never seen it before.
Toyota is pleased to feature African-American icons expressing themselves in their own words. Toyota, let's go places.
Listen to Laborers Live.
We created the weekend. We created the 40-hour work week. We just want enough to feed our family, be able to send our children to college, and let our next generation do better than we did.
To people that might have forgot how important unionism is in a country like the United States. People now infringing on our 8-hour work day, trying to work people more than 8 hours without overtime, trying to work people without benefits. In the long run, everybody's getting a fat paycheck except the worker. So this is really a wake-up call for America.
The struggle is continuous. Tune in to Laborers Live every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. Sponsored by LESIT, the Laborers Employers Cooperation Education Trust of the Laborers District Council of Philadelphia and vicinity.
Local 332, Sam Staten Jr. Business Manager. Local 57, Esteban Vera Business Manager. Local 135, Dan Woodall Jr. Business Manager. Local 413, James Harper Jr. Business Manager. The Laborers District Council, Ryan Boyer Business Manager. And Tony Staten, Executive Director of LESIT.
The WURD Radio Newsletter, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected. Sign up by visiting wordradio.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and type your email address under Connect with Us. You'll receive the latest information on WURD Radio. Messages from our President and CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese. Exclusive articles and multimedia content and resources. Stay informed with the WURD Radio Newsletter.
Back by popular demand. It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word, and we are taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are in these various things we're talking about on this morning show. 215-634-8065 is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. Let's go to Sister Carol from North Philly on line 3. Go ahead, Sister Carol.
Hello. Welcome, all word listeners. Is welcome. Anywho, let me just say, I got 2 comments. Number 1, about the Meek Mill thing. People don't realize that when you open up your mouth, like even as far as the cussing and all of that stuff, it shows ignorance. It shows that you don't know a way to explain yourself without all the cuss words and stuff. So they need to know that first. And number 2, out here driving, if these people would not pass the test, they need to know that having the lights on when it's raining or it's overcast, it's in the manual. They should start giving them tickets, and they're driving out here like it's a sunny day. They sliding and slipping and sliding. Please be careful, people. And yes, we should get our reparations. If not, we got to keep fighting for our reparations. Our children's children are still going to be in the same situation that we're in today, with the white privilege and holding us back and Lord Jesus, locking us up and hanging us, doing all kinds of crazy stuff to us. So we have to fight for our rights. It's not going to happen unless we do. I want everybody to have a blessed and prosperous day. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And I appreciate that. Are people driving without their lights on, Kwesa?
Oh, yeah, these people out here mad reckless.
Yeah.
They are. They're speeding, swerving in and out, dipping out of lanes. I'm like, what are y'all doing? So I just, I go slow. I'm like, go around me. Somebody was flashing their hazards on them. I'm like, I mean, not their hazards, their lights, their brights on. I'm like, why are you speeding? If you really need to get there that fast, get out the lane, go around me. But I'm not gonna be dipping in and out of lanes. Not with all this ice on the ground. No.
Yeah, I understand that. Let's go to William from Philly on line 4. William from Philly on line 4. Go ahead, William.
Yes, sir. First of all, let me say this is the first time that by accident I caught your station.
Thank you.
Previously till the first time it was on air many years ago. Anyhow, I have the solution to gun control, but nobody wants to listen, or maybe they're not getting the message. All we have to do is to put a registration number on each and every pack of bullets that are sold, that are sold, and have that attached to 1 or 2 guns. So no matter who gets shot, they'll always be able to trace the bullet back to the owner of the gun.
So suppose the bullets are sold illegally and they don't have a registration number, like the guns are sold illegally.
Well, if they get caught, they're going to do some serious time. And I understand that the bullets could be manufactured via the copy machine and all that sort of stuff, but you can't solve everything immediately, but at least this is a step in the right direction.
Okay, register the bullets. All right, I hear you, man. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That's the number you can call. Of course, you can also weigh in on Facebook at ForWord. That's FORWURD, FORWURD. That's where you can let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about on this morning show. FORWURD is how you weigh in and watch on Facebook. Lynn from Darby is on line 1. Go ahead, Lynn. Go ahead, Lynn.
Good morning, Solomon and Word family.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to tell you that was an excellent interview with Erica. Like Erica on the Facebook feed said, she's one of Philly's finest, the Freedom Theater. Absolutely. I loved her character in Living Single. She was sharp. She personified the lawyer. She was funny. And I love her present work she's doing now. Oh, she is just somebody to be proud of. And Solomon, who are you giving the side eye to? Is somebody taking your cookies or something? You look so funny.
Oh man, yeah. My family's in here, and so they doing like various stuff. So I'm, I can't hide how I feel is always on my face. So they doing little
I'm
stuff.
telling you, you look like don't you touch some cookies. Don't you touch it. Have a blessed weekend, y'all. Take care and be safe.
All right. Thank you so much, Lynn. We appreciate your call right here on WURD Radio. So people, of course, weighing in on Facebook at 4WURD about the various things that we're talking about on this morning's show, including our top 3 stories, which are story number 1, 6 U.S. Capitol police officers suspended with pay, 29 others placed under investigation for their actions in the January 6th riot. I believe it was an inside job. Story number 2, Malcolm Kenyatta, state representative, progressive activist from Philly, officially launched his campaign for the U.S. Senate on Thursday. Good luck to him. Story number 3, my commentary for the day. Yesterday, when Senator Ted Cruz claimed he was sorry for leaving Texas for Cancun in the middle of a deadly weather crisis, it made me sick, especially when he gave this excuse. With school canceled for the week, Cruz said, our girls asked to take a trip with friends. Wanting to be a good dad, I flew down with them last night and am flying back this afternoon. And, it's 350,000 people still without power the day that he left. 20 people had died as of that afternoon. People struggling to find clean water in an emergency. You the senator and you leave for the beach? Seriously? So, it just shows kind of where we are in terms of the leadership in this country. It is not good, man. We have people there who are there for their own glory, for their own future, for their own advancement, and not there to serve the people. Leadership is about serving. That's what it should be about, right? But for too many people, for them, leadership is about being served, and that's never going to be an effective means of leadership. So I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. Of course, the number you can call to get in right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are in these various things we're talking about on this morning's show. 215-634-8065 is the number that you can call to get in on this morning's show and let us know where you are on these topics. So you can also in on Facebook at 4WURD. That's FORWURD, FORWURD. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So a few folks weighing in here. We have Luke Dees is saying, y'all know that Meek Mill ain't too bright. If Choppa is supposed to be a play on words, then lyrically it's not even witty. I still don't get the reference, but rappers don't have to be intelligent. So that's one comment. Choppa, if anyone has questions, it means gun, but also, of course, we know that Choppa also, helicopter. So play on words, but yeah, really bad play on words. Brenda Bellinger is saying, great show. Dexter Wilson, Veronica Smith, thanks so much for checking us out. Also, Bertie Roman and Valerie Jones are also checking us out as well. Nikki Carter is saying, I guess in regards to folks out here just, zipping on the highways in the snow, she says they think they have those same wheels that are in those commercials, LOL. I agree with the caller. They should really give tickets to people not using their lights when the road is wet. This is why there are so many hit and runs, driving too fast and no lights. And then also, we have here Terry Lynn Davis Covington. The irony that the same day the song comes out is the same day that 8 people were shot on Broad and Olney. So that song, I think it was leaked on Wednesday, and I think that's the same day as what happened in Olney. So yeah, I hear you on that. And then lastly, we have Cleo Weekend. W says, music today, shock value sales. You don't have to have talent anymore. And a lot of folks are agreeing with that statement as well. But those are just a few comments that we have here today.
All right. So there you have it. And in terms of today's show, man, just a great show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in on today's show. I want to thank all of our guests who joined us on today's show, including actress, activist, filmmaker Erica Alexander. Her new podcast, of course, is reparations, the big payback. So make sure you check that out wherever you get your podcast. We want to thank Akbar Hassan, Senator Anthony Williams, Councilmember Kenyatta Johnson, and we want to thank the fabulous Kawesa Mathis, who, as always, on Friday, delivered a powerhouse song. So we appreciate that as well. And now, for super producer Kawesa Mathis and everyone here at WURD Radio, I am your host, Solomon Jones, saying stay tuned for The Source with Tiffany Bacon. Tune in Monday at 7 for more Wake Up with Word. Peace.